Yo.
Fuji go high the beat. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight. Stopping in, we've been tapping in. We ain't never late. Dropping gems, we've been locking in. Now let's elevate. Took else to win, running laps again. This is steady race. People's champ, boy, yeah, you know I've been the heavyweight.
Laughing at that right corner. What's going on? What's going on, everybody? And welcome, as always, to the Heavyweight Bros. It is April 26th.
It is.
I was about to say Friday. It's a Tuesday. What's going on? I'm your host, as always, the 5XL assassin, the diabolical diabetic, your boy, the big nasty. And to my right is the high yellow hitman, the freaking deacon, Coach Buck, my little dumpling. Uncle Raisin, what's going on, man? What's happening?
I'm chilling. First, I need for you to get in this frame. I felt like this camera was fine, and now, there we go. Get in this frame.
One little
man.
scoop is what you needed.
Man, I don't want anybody think I'm taking all the camera time. Man.
I think you just wanted to smell this fresh cut.
That's what it was. With the E40 cut.
I gotta smell that fresh cut. Gotta get those fragrances in my nose.
Listen, I'm doing good, man. Today was a good day. Every time I see somebody like, "Oh, you got a tan," I'm like, "Yes, I do." Thank you for reminding me. I was somewhere I want to be right now.
I'll get there soon.
Oh yeah.
Because that's the thing is too. Is like when I get dark, Apparently.
Yeah.
Like it's dark.
Okay.
People be like, "Oh, that's your black side." I'm like, I don't have a black side. Just black from the waist down.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am doing well, and you?
Doing pretty good. I'm actually really excited today.
Okay.
Because hit up my man, as you know him as Bertier.
Okay.
Man, yep. Dave,
Gary Bertier.
Haven't talked to him in a minute, stuff like that. Wound up hitting him up. We just bought tickets to go see Ludacris in concert 2 weekends from now. So like, it's the first time either of us have ever seen him in concert, and like, we were like schoolgirls on the phone. I was like, are we doing this? Are we doing this? I said, let's go. I was like, yo, I'm excited, man. I was like, yo, I hung out with my mans like that forever. And then it's like, then we're gonna go see Luda over at the Nickelodeon theme park in Jersey.
What?
I was like, let's go. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense.
It's the same day we're going to see Doctor Strange too. I was like, so as soon as Doctor Strange is done, I'm flying to Jersey.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That is pretty fire.
I'm really excited.
Okay.
I was like, you know how like, all right, so you're a parent.
Yes.
Right.
I believe so.
So like I've had other parents try to explain to me, even ones that like they're not together anymore. It's like no one is ever as excited for when your kids do certain things than the other parent is.
Yeah.
Like they said their first word, or they're taking these steps, and like, did you notice that they're doing this? And it's like, you'll tell people, and they're like, oh man, like that's so dope. But it's like, it's not the same as the way the other parent does it. Like, I feel like I'm like, yo, I'm going to see Ludacris in concert. And everybody's like, oh man, like that's dope. But I'm like, yeah, but I was like, yo, Dave, like Ludacris is concert. He was like, Ludacris is in concert. I was like, yes, bro, yes. Like, I felt like stepbrother.
That's my energy.
Yes. I was like, thank you.
Did we just become best friends?
I was literally gonna go by myself. And then I was like, Dave's not gonna want to go see Ludacris. I was like, I just hit him up. I was like, yo, let me ask a question. 2 weekends from now, I was like, Ludacris is concert. He's like, Ludacris is concert. He's like, is there still tickets? I was like, this is what I'm talking about. I was like, I hit up the right person. That's all that matters. I hit the right person.
Whose autograph is that? Randy Jackson.
Whoa.
It's the only thing I had.
So like, I'm super excited about that. Like that definitely like, I didn't have a bad day, like, but it was like a normal day. But I was like, that definitely was because like for like the last 2 weeks, like they didn't show the prices on there. And we kept being like, yo, how much are these tickets going to be? How much are these tickets going to be? And stuff like that. And then they showed, I was like, oh yeah, that's all day. So I forgot we're adults.
Question. This is something I always ask people. Like when they're saying they're going to see somebody they really want to see, whether it's comedy, music, whatever it is, I always ask them, if you have the opportunity and it presents himself that you meet this person, say it's like you're exiting and they're exiting the same way, or you end up backstage for some reason and you meet this person, what would you say to them?
Like, yo, like, first of all, this is insane. I'm pretty sure I'll be tongue-tied because it's like, I don't want to say like I get starstruck, but like I haven't really met like my heroes type of people. Like I meet dope people, and like I met dope people, and like I've been pretty smooth in those situations for the most part. But I was like, I can't imagine meeting like Ludacris. Like that's a huge deal to me. Like I can't believe like you find that funny. Like it's like that. Like that's like legit like a huge thing to me. And it's like I would assume that I would play cool and be like, yo man, been a huge fan for a long time. Like yo, honestly, like DMX was like my first favorite rapper, but I was like, you're the guy that like everybody knows is my favorite person. Like when people hit me up and be like, heard what's your fantasy today, and thought about you, like that's how hype like people know that like whatchamacallit. I don't know if I get that in depth, but I'd be just like, yo, I just appreciate it and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure he'd be like, yeah, whatever. It's funny because I thought you were gonna ask the question that I asked.
Treat you the way he treated
Terrence Howard. And I'd be okay with it. Let me tell you.
Hey man, tell me this tape just fell out your pocket, man.
So that was a really good Terrence Howard impression. That was really good.
Hey, there we go.
But so I asked him because I was like,
man.
You're gonna keep trying to do it.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You're gonna butcher it for yourself. It's not me. But the question that I asked him, because I was like, I have these like things in my head all the time where it's just like I've seen Drake, I've seen Lil Wayne, I've seen Hove, I've seen Nas, I've seen Wu-Tang, like I've seen like all these people that like I know and I love their music, and I'm just like, I was like, because we're gonna be like in the standing only section and stuff like that, so like we're gonna be like pretty close to the stage if we get there early enough.
Right. And
I'm like, if we're there, and he's talking to the crowd, and he's like, like, what's the one song? Like he's just like, yo, how long you been a fan? You do like that whole thing. He's like, yo, I'll do any song that you want me to do, like right now. Like, what song do you want to do, like, and perform? And then he's like, and like, let's just say the song has somebody else in it. He'd be like, oh yeah, like too bad this person's not here. And I'd be like, I got you. And he brings you on stage, and he's like, you can rap this. Like, what songs are you doing? And that's like what we went back and forth with. Wow. And he was, and like, I was like legit getting goose. I was like, yo, could you imagine? And he brought us up, and I was like that. And it was funny because then Dave brought up the one. He was like, what if you went up there and he was like, man, get out. And I was just like, I'd cry.
That's hilarious. Yeah, I always ask that question because like my wife's gonna kill me for this, but it's all right. But like one of her favorite comedians is Mike Epps.
Okay.
So you know when Hookie Loud used to have mad comedians.
Yeah, he came a lot.
Yes.
I feel like John Witherspoon was like, he was there all the time.
Bro, I've seen John Witherspoon, Mike Epps, Charlie Murphy, Kevin Hart before he got big. He showed up late, did like an extra hour. Like mad people.
Yeah.
Like DL Hughley.
Yeah, tons of people came.
Tons of people. So Mike Epps is coming as one of her favorite comedians. So I'm just like, yo, got tickets to Mike Epps. We're going to Hookie Loud. We're going to eat, see Mike Epps. Have a great night. I was like, yo, on the way there, I'm like, so let's just say for some reason you meet Mike Epps. What you got to say to him? She had the best response ever. She was like, I'm looking at him and be like, baby, you can't fight.
I thought she was gonna be like, where you staying?
No, but you know in the movie where she's like, baby, you can't fight. And he was like, nah, I would push a little in the face, right? Yeah. So I was like, that would be hilarious if you say that and y'all act out that scene.
It's not the same thing for music though.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's like if he walks by and I'm like, man, get out of my way. It's like, no, you get out my way.
You get out my way.
Move, get out the way.
So we're leaving Hookie Loud.
Mm-hmm.
Lo and behold, guess who's like 5 feet from us? Outside, Mr. Epps himself, selling his own comedy CD, like out of the back of a car, like on the side of the Hookie Loud, just like meeting people, taking cash, dapping people up. I go up to him like, yo, Mike, great show. Give him some dap and everything. And then I don't hold his hand like a weirdo. I give him some dap. I look at him, look at Luda. I let his hand go. And then I'm standing there looking at Luda. I was like, hey, Mike, this is my wife. He's like, hey, wife. And she's like,
the thing is, you did the shoulders. Right, and I was like, I know that's exactly what you did.
I'm wondering, like, what happened to baby? You can't fight. She's like, just get in the car. I was like, oh, man, I was like, you sure you don't want me to circle back around and we try it one more time? She was like, no, let's go.
You don't want to yell it out the window because if you do, and the two hype about, man, you can't fight.
Right.
Yo, hold up. I'm security.
You just try to pull out like, I don't fight, I shoot. like, security.
You getting the wrong day.
Right. But yeah, and that's what I know it happened to me too as well. And I won't drag this out anymore so we can get to the stuff that we got to talk about. But I think I was like maybe like 9 years old, and my aunt used to live in New York in Queens, and like right down the street in Jamaica, Queens, she's like Popeye, Seatown, and all that stuff. So me and my cousin used to always go to the grocery store to get stuff for the crib. Mm-hmm. We're going to the grocery store one time, and I'm walking in, and lo and behold, Rev Run walks by me with his wife. Mm-hmm. Somebody's carrying his groceries, but he's got the big chain on that says Run. And I'm talking to my cousin, and I just freeze as he's walking by. I don't even turn around as he's walking by, and he just keeps walking. And my cousin's like, do you know who that is? I was like,
do I know?
Snapped out of it. It was like, yes. Ran to the cashier. I was like, I need some paper. I need a pen. Have a little Jordan Ash fanny pack.
You really brought it back. You brought it back with the Jordan Ash.
Like, yeah, I went running outside. I was like, Run. Man, can I please get an autograph? I don't mean to bother you. He was like, yeah, little man. You kept it all super smooth.
Yeah.
He was like, mind you, I'm like,
yeah, we got the same forehead.
right. I'm like at the level of his chain because his chain was dumb long and said run right across his chest. So I'm just like looking at the chain. He signs the joint. I put it in my Jordache backpack. Lost the backpack that summer. I was dumb tight. But it was just like I froze up for a minute too. My cousin, if she didn't slap me back to reality, I was just like, never would have met him.
I think the closest person like I ever met that was like that big or like something like that important was Isaiah Thomas for the Pistons.
Okay.
But this was back when he was
as a Pistons fan.
Yeah, and he was
the
GM of the Raptors at the time, and the Raptors had came.
Man, he done ruined some teams.
Actually, this was the time when like they were actually pretty decent. It was like David Stoudemire, Marcus Camby, and like all them were on the team.
That was a good roster.
And he he was there, and yeah, he was at the Civic Center, and the Raptors were playing the Nets, and it was like one of the random ass times like my real father was around. And he was like, "Hey, we're going to a basketball game," and stuff like that. He goes, "Yo, ain't you a Pistons fan?" type of deal. And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Isaiah Thomas is over there." And I said, "What?" And he's like, "Isaiah Thomas is over there." He's like, "You should go get his autograph." I was like, "He's not going to give me his autograph." He's like, "You are like an 8-year-old. He's most certainly not going to tell you like get him out of here." And he gave me the autograph. My dad was like, "Yeah, this is dope."
No, he did it.
I swear to God, I swear to God, he did it. Yes, he did.
Oh, don't tell me that, man.
Like I remember, like years later, like he brought it up and so that I was like, "Yo, what'd you ever do with that ticket?" He was like, "I don't know." I was like,
"Bro,
tell
me that."
Yeah. I promise you. I think I still have David Stoudemire and Marcus Camby autographed like my basketball cards. I still got those. Yeah. And he was just like, "You would have lost it anyways." I was like, "I didn't lose that shit."
Yeah.
I never for like 20 years, bro.
I got a small Nick ball and a shirt signed for Marcus Camby. It's like, Marcus Camby, you a diehard Nick fan or something like that. I can't remember where he was at.
He wasn't lying because he's going to die hard, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as I know like this was a dope segment for us or something like that. Yeah. But it's like as long as this was, I was like, we got to breeze by some of this stuff.
We definitely
because some of this stuff is breezy. And that last episode was 3 hours. I don't think we could do another one of that. Yeah, like for those of you that stuck with us for the 3 hours, yo, appreciate you, much love. I know that was tough, especially because this man was wilding like crazy with that text message.
Yeah, I can say what y'all want, man. I got one of these.
Here we go. We gotta be like that.
He was like, how many rings does Jordan have? He was like, it's the only argument I need, Sean.
Call Bill Russell about that then. It's not the best, it's not the only argument. Bill Russell's got the most.
You talking about the guy who hands somebody the MVP trophy at the finals all the time?
The finals MVP, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
The guy who the trophy's named after.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So he should be the greatest of all time, right? If that's the only argument,
dad's gonna be in the
comments. If that's the only argument you need,
my dad's gonna be in the comments talking about Dr. Jade and his Wilt champ. Like, this is where I'm at with it.
People were calling Michael Jordan the GOAT when he only had 3 rings.
There really is no greatest of all time.
Yes, there is.
Listen, there are GOATs for eras. There are several different GOATs.
I can't believe this is what we're doing right now.
Several different GOATs.
That's not the same. That's not the whole point of the GOAT.
Huh?
That defeats the whole purpose of the term GOAT, greatest of all time.
Yeah, but I feel like, I mean, mine is Jordan. I'm just going to say that, and this is coming from a Knick fan. He's broke my hearts several of nights, but I'm just saying if we had grown up in a different era, we may have a different perspective.
Possible.
You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying.
They might just be wrong. That's all.
You're right.
I feel like
it's the only argument I need, Sean.
I feel like there's only 2 right answers, and it's like then like the Kareem one is like it's a good answer, but it's like that one's not right either. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just like I feel like it's either Jordan or it's LeBron, and it's like it could go either way. Like that's really like on your preference. Mm-hmm. But it's like if you're saying anything else with that, you're wilding. Mm-hmm. Like it's not Kobe, it's not Durant, it's not Shaq, it's not Magic, it's not Larry. It's either Jordan or it's LeBron. That's the end of the discussion right there.
Okay.
So that's just where I'm at with it.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
And for anybody who disagree with me, listen, you know what I mean? I'm a humble guy. You can come over, we could chill, we could kick it. Me and my wife will cook dinner for y'all, and we can have another conversation about it. Just let me know.
I've heard people describe you in a number of ways. Humble's never been one of them. I'll tell you that right now. That's a pie that you haven't tasted, and you've tasted all the pies.
You know, it's crazy. If you had met Raisin 20 years ago, you'd be like, "I like this Raisin."
What you mean? That's the humble guy?
No. This is humble Raisin. This is humble pie.
That's Raisin. That's how far.
Oh yeah.
A younger Raisin was.
Yeah.
I've heard the tales. I'm all set with that guy.
Oh yeah, I'm all set with that guy too. I might have you heard him 20 years ago. I'm like, I'm gonna step aside.
I was gonna say, if he was walking down the street and you saw younger Raisin, are you crossing the street?
Yeah,
That was wild.
Yeah, a little sketchy light skinned dude looking like homie from New Jersey Drive, looking like Tiny from New Jersey Drive. I'm all set with
like
you,
Donald Faison. Looking like Turkleton. I know
Tiny from New Jersey Drive.
I know. I just wanted people who didn't watch New Jersey Drive to know who Turkleton is.
That's terrible. That's definitely one of the cultural gems too. All right, but we'll get right into it.
Now we're gonna get right into it.
This might have been the longest opening take we had in a minute. It was a good one though.
It was.
Right,
I get excited talking about things that I'm passionate about, and one of those things is ludicrous.
I think digging in the crates we can breeze by right quick, but we'll get into it.
Okay.
All right. No diggity, no doubt.
Mm-hmm.
So Kiesha Cole, for some reason, thinks that Antonio Brown is a great rapper and could possibly win a Grammy. And
next.
I don't know what's going on because in the same sentence there was like Antonio Brown performs like 3 tracks in front of an audience and everybody seems unentertained and going to concessions while he's up there rapping. So I don't know what Kiesha Cole was listening to.
Next,
but Kid Cudi speaks on Ye again. So Push had the new album out.
Yep.
And on the album there's a song with both Kid Cudi and Kanye on it.
Yep.
And Kid Cudi came out and was like, just to remind y'all, I don't mess with Ye in any shape, form, or fashion. This was a pre-recorded song, and I gave Push clearance to release it for his album, but this has no inclination that we are cool, will ever be cool, or ever do music again.
Okay.
I do not know what happened between these dudes.
The thing is, I did know, but now that I'm on the spot, I don't have all the details on me right now. But it was just it's a lot of differences on it, and then I think that Kanye West gets a lot of credit for a lot of the things that Kid Cudi did to really change music and stuff like that. Yeah. There's a lot of that, and then he's Kanye West has said some really disparaging stuff about Kid Cudi as well, and he kind of ate it for a while, and then after a while he was like, "Why am I eating this stuff? Nah, f you, dude." So
right, okay.
So did you ever listen to the new Push album? Because I know last time you didn't.
Yes, I enjoyed it.
The whole thing all the way through?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Like I said, it's pretty short. It's only half an hour.
I got through it twice.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Is it up on your list?
I mean, it's not a lot of music out.
We've talked about quite a few albums though.
I want to see.
You got the Cordae.
It's not better than Cordae.
You got Conway.
I'll go with Push over Conway.
Benny.
It's tough.
The Dreamville.
I'm going with Dreamville only because there's so many different artists and it's such a high range and it's such an entertaining album. I'm still listening to that.
I think this Friday when Future drops, that's gonna change your opinion on a lot of stuff.
You think it's gonna be fire?
No, I don't like Future like that.
I was gonna say I
haven't heard a single song.
I didn't know where you were going with that because I was
making
a
joke.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I've heard more music from Jack Harlow than I have from Future.
Sheesh.
If I put both of them albums in front of you and I was like, you have to listen to one of these both at a time, you listen to Jack Harlow or you listen to Future.
I'm going to Future.
Okay.
But that's just because I don't listen to Jack Harlow.
You don't listen to Future. It's the same thing.
Right. But if I heard a Future song, I would know. If I heard a Jack Harlow song, I would be like, oh, this is Jack Harlow.
What Future song do you know and do you like better than that? What's poppin'? Brand new whip just hopped in. Because you like that song.
I do. But it's a lot of people featured in that song.
Okay, that's not the question that I asked you.
Tory killed it. Wayne killed it.
It's not
Baby
the question
killed
I asked
it.
you.
Before you get.
Speaking, they released the video of the baby killing that guy at Walmart.
What?
You never heard about this thing where?
No, I know that. But why did this video get released?
It got released over the weekend because I can't remember who had the video, but they just released it, and I watched it. And I was like, damn, I was like, that's murder, bro. That's crazy.
What?
Yeah. And
was
the
it
baby
on YouTube or something?
Well, the baby, it's on. Yeah, I think you can find it on YouTube now. I saw it on Twitter and stuff like that.
What?
But the baby just got another physical altercation this past weekend too.
I heard about that with somebody from his label.
Yeah.
All right, I'm not doing this right now, man. That brother, because it just bothers me because
he's got to be, if they're doing new Def Jam Vendetta, he's got to be the final boss, right? Because that makes him invincible, and he's got the right hook of price.
Bro, I just hate to see young brothers climb so high, and then that slippery slope, just it just feels like everything's caving down. His music doesn't even hit the same way it does. It's just like
it doesn't hit like he does.
Boom, ching. But it's just like I don't know. It's very dispiriting. I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
No. All right.
Breeze. What else we got?
Insomnia Hour.
Oh, so we already done with Integrate? Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
Wake me up inside.
Wake me up.
Wake me up inside.
Save me.
Save me from the nothing that's inside.
That boy be going after it, man. I love it, man. I love it. So Tommy season finale.
Force season finale?
There you go. That's what
Why
I
do
said.
people refuse to call it Force?
Because it's just so much easier when you call it by the main
Force
character.
is less letters.
Less syllables, you mean?
Yeah. Force. Tommy. I watched Tommy last night.
Word. I'm watching season 2.
Okay, so it was good enough.
It was good enough for me to watch season 2.
Is it
Yes.
better than Tariq?
No.
Okay. So is it the worst one of the Power Universe shows? Like there's Kanan,
Yes.
there's Tariq. It's the worst one?
Yes.
Okay. But it's still not bad.
No. It's
Okay.
kind of like you made a reference earlier. I won't say what that reference was, but it's just like it's the worst ball brother.
Yeah.
But they all can ball.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know what I mean?
You're just not these guys.
Right.
That's okay. It's like Fast and the Furious movies. Like,
Right.
they all can't be Fast 5.
Right.
Some of them got to be
Fast 9.
The Fast and the Furious. Listen, man. I watched Fast Night the other night.
Some
That
of-
joint still
some of them
bangs
have-
up.
Some of them have to be Hobbs and Shaw.
But we don't like Hobbs and Shaw? You don't like Black Superman?
I'm on Tyrese side. Don't do no spinoff. Don't do no spinoff without us saying this. Listen, I didn't watch it because I thought it was whack.
You didn't even watch it?
No.
I don't understand how people can have like opinions like that where like this thing is trash, this thing sucks, and you did not watch or consume it. I understand if you're like, like that, it looked corny, so I didn't watch it. So just say that. But when people talk about it, don't be like, oh, that corny movie. You didn't watch it. It was a good movie.
All right.
It's a solid Fast and Furious
It was
movie.
corny and I didn't watch it.
Okay, there you go.
I'm sorry.
Next.
I'm sorry.
Unless you have anything else to say about Force.
No, I like the way the finale worked out. I like the way it's tailoring into everything else, and they did have the epic death in it as well to give you that somebody got murked off when you're wondering who it's going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of storylines that went unfinished to build into the next season. So 50's doing a good job. I'm just curious of where all these shows are going to go next season because he has the whole stars thing issue going on.
How connected have these shows been?
I feel like there's going to be an epic connection towards, like, say Tommy gets into 3 seasons, Tyreek does. I feel like there's going to be a connection that comes back at some point because that would make it super dope. I don't think there's going to be a strong connection to Kanan because that's like back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, everything is already connected because all this leads into what it is now. But I do feel like Tommy and Tariq's episodes can easily cross paths.
So just so I'm clear, the Tariq show and Tommy show both take place after Power.
Yes.
Tariq show is one that has Mary J. Blige in it
Yes.
in Orlando.
Yes.
Or Zeke.
Yes.
Zeke.
Yes.
And the Kanan show is the prequel, but also stars Tariq.
No, Tariq's not in it.
Oh, okay, I thought that was like Tariq was always supposed to play Ghost or something like that.
No. Ghost hasn't even come. Well, he could. Ghost hasn't popped up in the show yet.
Tariq show is called Ghost, right? It's like Ghost Book 2 or something like that.
I just call it Tariq, bro. I don't know. I do not know.
I love listening to you trying to explain the 50 verse.
but it's entertaining. It's keeping my interest, and we'll see where it goes.
Okay, all right.
Winning Time, new episode.
I can't even lie. I did not watch the new episode yet.
Sheesh.
I watched a lot of movies this
Mhm.
past week, so like I just didn't get a chance to get to it. And like,
So it's.
so you watched the Larry Bird episode that I was talking
I
about.
watched the Larry Bird episode.
Was it as fire as I was
It
talking
was
about?
definitely fire. Larry's in this episode as well.
Okay. It's the Dr. J's in this one, right?
Dr. J's in this one as well. David Stern makes his first appearance.
Ah.
That's what makes it exciting for me. It's just like, who are you introducing in this next
Yeah.
episode? And it's like,
Who plays David Stern? Do you know?
no.
Even though I know you don't know who nobody is.
Right. He's a random though. I'm pretty sure he's a random.
Okay.
But you might see him and be like, no, he's from so and so.
Yeah.
Like-
Like, are you kidding me, bro?
Right. But no, David Stern gets introduced here. Dr. J, like you said, Larry Bird, they have the epic all-star game that both Magic and Bird are in battling. Yeah, I won't give up too much details because I don't want to ruin
Oh, yeah,
episode for you. But
don't do that.
they're being
Don't do
super
that.
consistent, and I love the fact how everything is like just bringing more characters in. And it doesn't mean like they have to have a major role, but like this is real life stuff, and just to see how this stuff all unwinded into this big Laker dynasty is pretty intriguing.
Even though all the Lakers seem to freaking hate it, apparently, especially Jerry West. Jerry West is like, I'll take this to the Supreme Court.
Right.
I'm like, damn, bro. Like,
never mind the fact that at the same time that this is happening, Magic just got a special release.
Yep.
Called I think it's called Urban Magic Johnson.
Yeah, I think it's something like that.
Yeah, but it's like I think it's like a 4-part miniseries or something like that, and it's already out. I forget what it's on. I want to say Showtime, but I'm not completely sure.
That'd be pretty ironic.
But I know that it will be that. I like that. I see what you did there. But I do know it's on a little pirated site that I watch, so I'm gonna watch that soon. But I just like, I feel like
sponsor us. We'll put your name out there.
Right. I feel like Magic's I feel like Magic's like one of those ball players that like hasn't gotten like that documentary flower arrangement yet. Like,
that was a really wild statement. Like, he hasn't gotten his flowers yet.
Yeah, not like, but like, you know, when guys just sit around and talk about the greatness of somebody else, like they've done the Dream Team, like, okay, a little piece of magic is in there. They've done the Last Dance with the Bulls. They've done like 30 for 30s here and there, but like something just for Magic, I feel like we haven't really had anything like that.
Because like even when they did do Magic stuff, Bird was always attached. It was always like Magic versus Bird,
or it was about the HIV thing. You know what I mean? So this is just an opportunity for people to just say how amazing and impressed and awed they were by watching Magic Johnson play basketball. Jordan's in it.
Before LeBron James.
Okay.
I used to say, I was like, Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. But if I was to build the greatest basketball player of all time, like, it would be Magic Johnson.
Yes, he's
like
the ultimate 2K player.
Like, it's what you call it. I was like, it'd be Magic Johnson. And then obviously LeBron James came and changed the whole game and stuff like that.
He's a guard that towers over everybody else, super strong, fast, can see the court from it. Like, what can he not do? What can he not do? So, yeah, definitely. So
keep it in his pants?
I'm not backing up that joke. I'm not leaving it there. Magic, come on and show whatever you want. I will be your guest.
I mean, he'll probably own this network.
Hey, I don't have a problem with
He's like, oh, here's $600 for the heavyweight bros. I'm like, you got it, bro.
I would listen. He gonna have to buy this bag. That's fine, because the next week we will have midweight bros.
I was gonna say, whatever we gonna call it, we the Basement Brothers.
Right. Go whatever we want. I'm like, Magic, you can buy this one too. Half price of the last one you bought.
You buy one, get one half off. We got it for cheap, but I've been listening to Pusha T's albums.
That was a quick turnaround.
Almost like the quick turnarounds that you get from my guy G-Head over at Custom Merch on IG and Etsy. You can go to IG and Etsy and type and find Custom Merch and then type in the promo code Heavyweight Bros called HW the number 8BROS to save you 10% off your order, because the more you spend,
the more you save. Sorry for that camera malfunction. I just couldn't miss an opportunity to get our sponsorship out there.
So what else we got? Because I didn't watch Winning Time. I'm sorry.
We have We Own the City that just came out. I'll be watching that tonight. So
I didn't get to watch it either.
Nah, me either. It's the first episode though, so we'll see what happens.
I've heard good things though.
I have as well, and I'm super excited for it.
Me too.
Popcorn Papi.
Okay. Don't stop, pot that.
Hey.
Do you want me to go first? I know you had like a bit of news. I actually watched 2 movies this weekend.
Yeah, go ahead. You go first.
Because
I want your insight on this other one, because I don't know if I got hoodwinked or if I have some real information. Because I kind of felt good when I brought up my little Thanos perspective, and you're just like, oh, look at you.
Yeah, I was proud.
Yeah, doing some homework. So I'm trying to make you proud again. We'll see what happens, but I would hate to be wrong.
Okay. So you got to help me out with the name of it. I'm pretty sure the first movie that I saw was The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
There you go.
Okay.
Never heard of it.
I'm sure you've seen the trailers for it and you just didn't know that this was the name of the movie, but it's a Nicolas Cage movie about Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage, and he goes to like this rich guy's house. Does it help at all? All right. So this movie, I'm pretty sure it's a comedy, because it's taken like as a comedy, but the movie is called The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, and it is about Nicolas Cage, real life Nicolas Cage as we know him, and he's like a bit of he's kind of like he's a little washed up, but he's not really washed up. Like to him, like he says he has this saying that he says throughout the movie about all the time. He's like, yeah, but when I make the comeback, even though I never had to come back in the first place, type of deal. Where it's just like, I've never really fallen off, but I'm just not 90s Nick Cage anymore. So like he's in a bit of debt, and he's in a bit of rut trying to find like his next movie. He's trying to find his next vehicle. His agent comes to him and was like, hey, this very rich guy is a huge fan of yours. He wants you to come to his birthday party and he'll pay you like $1 million for it. And he's like, I don't want to do that. And it's just like, yo, but like you owe like these people like X amount of dollars and this people and this people. He's like, you do this one thing, like you pretty much wipe the slate clean. The rich person that wants him to come is Pedro Pascal, who I'm sure you knew people know him as the Mandalorian.
Oh, okay.
I know him as whatchamacallit, Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper from Game of Thrones. He was also the lead Narcos, but you know what I'm saying? Pedro Pascal. Yeah. They are hilarious in this movie. Okay. Because like the movie starts off as one thing. I
do not know this movie. I've never seen a preview.
So the movie starts off like as one thing, and as soon as they get together, it becomes like stepbrothers between the two of them because they're like just two like idiots almost. And it's like they love movies, they love this, and then like Nick Cage is like he's like a nerd because he's a huge Nick Cage fan. But then he's like he starts to like because Nick Cage is another thing where like he's very not self-aware. Okay. So like he has like a lot of issues with his daughter and like with his wife, and it's mostly because like he's such an overbearing person where it's like we always watch the family movies and like we do all this stuff, but it's always the movies that you want to watch. It's not what anybody else want to watch. Okay. And then like you tell people what their opinions are on things. Like, don't you think that this is good because of this and this and this? And people just go like, all right, whatever, stuff like that. But then he meets Pedro Pascal and he's like, yeah, like have you ever seen this movie? And he's like, oh my God, I love that movie. And then they're like best buds. But the thing is the guy who invites him, Pedro Pascal, is turns out to be one of the heads of a cartel. Okay. And while they're there, like little does Nick Cage know, like before he got there, they actually just kidnapped like this president's daughter and they have him on the compound. So then the U.S. government realizes that Nick Cage is there and they recruit Nicolas Cage to try and see if he can rescue this girl from the drug cartel. This movie was outstanding. I love this movie. I feel like I needed to be very specific.
Oh my goodness.
I was like, this is such like bro humor. And I was like, if you like the Step Brothers, like the back and forth, like what I'm talking about, like oh my God, like did we just become best friends? Right, and did we just do this? Like there's a scene where they do
for activities.
It's so much. Like I'm gonna show you the trailer and you're gonna be like, yeah, this movie sounds exactly what you're talking about. Where they do LSD together, like all this other stuff, like it's whatchamacallit. I laughed. My theater was dying laughing at it. Like people are like, like you know how like when the joke's over, and like someone's still laughing like a little bit towards it. Like someone was doing like one of those and stuff like that, and like people stood up and clapped at the end of this movie. I was like, yo, what? I was like, yo, all right, I'm not the only person. I was mad because I saw it solo dolo, and I was like, I really wish I would have went with a homie to watch it because like I feel like they would have appreciated it. I do not think this is a good bring your girlfriend to this movie because like it's one of those movies where girls are like, boys are so stupid for like movies like this.
It's like when she thinks I'm out cheating and this is what I'm doing with the bros.
You're doing stupid stuff with the bros. Exactly. And it's just like those movies where they just like roll their eyes over and over. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe he finds this funny. This is the man I chose to marry. Laugh at stuff like this.
I'll bring it, Lulu.
Don't bring it. But it's like I really enjoyed it. I did have a tough time. I was trying to rate it on the nasty scale. Okay. Got your full price, your matinee, $5 Tuesday, Redbox, stream it, skip it. Okay. I was like, can I make this a full price movie? Because I really wanted to make it a full price movie. But I think it has to fall in the matinee category. Okay. Specifically because it really is for a certain demographic. Okay. It really is for like, it's the dumb bro humor, but it's like when you really look at it, like some of the things are like what they're trying to say about certain things are really smart, and then like stuff like that. I think Pedro Pascal is so funny in this movie about it. Like he's really like the comedic person because it's like here he is, like he's this cartel leader, and like they're supposed to be like pretty scary stuff like that, but like he's kind of just an idiot, like for the most part, and it's just like I think his dad was the cartel leader. He kind of took over, and it's just like things are just kind of running. But he's kind of like an idiot, and it's just like the stuff that he does with Nicolas Cage, and they do a real good job of like balancing the stupidity of certain things and then the seriousness of certain situations. Where it's like, no, yo, you can't come over here because like these are people with guns. Like there's drugs on this island. Like you can't be over here, type of deal. Wow. And so like that. But it was like I thought it was really well done.
Come over here, cuz.
Yeah. But I thought it was really well done, so I gave it the matinee. But I was like, I just want everybody to know I wanted to make it a full pricer. I think it's one of my 5 favorite movies of the year so far.
I think I might watch it tonight.
I think I'd be okay with you watching it on your phone. Okay. Because like I don't think you need the theater experience to get it for the most part. You know what I mean?
The kids gonna be mad at me. They're not gonna be asleep tonight.
The second movie that I saw
The Northman
was the Northman.
Okay.
I wish I knew the name of the actual Skarsgård that's in this movie because there's like a million Skarsgårds.
What is that?
That's the name of the family. That's like the
okay,
Ball
gotcha,
brothers.
gotcha,
It's like there's the Skarsgårds. It's like one of them is the scientist in the Avengers movies. One of them is the Pennywise from the It movies. They're all over the place. Like you find like these Scandinavian white men that are like really well built. They're all Skarsgårds apparently. They're all like related some way somehow.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the show True Blood?
No.
Damn, because I was like, did you ever see the live action Tarzan movie? It was pretty recent. It was like 2017, something like that.
I think so.
The guy who plays Tarzan is the Northman in this movie.
Oh yeah. I did know that.
So like yeah, but he plays. I believe his name is Eric on True Blood. He's like one of the lead vampires like on the show.
Okay.
He was pretty good in it. After watching this movie, and I think I always wondered this, I don't understand how he's not a superhero yet. Like, first of all, he's got to be like 6'3", 6'4", and this dude is cut. Like, it's insane. Like, I'm pretty sure if you stood him next to Thor, like they would look almost like the same type of deal. And I was like, this guy's got to be some sort of superhero at some point in time. Like, I don't know what he's gonna be.
Super villain. They're running out of villains.
They are running out of villains. So like, he's got to be something. Other people in this movie, Anya Taylor-Joy. She played Beth Harmon in the Queen's Gambit. Netflix show. Yeah. She's in it.
That was solid. That was solid. Okay.
I was like, like Netflix show. I was like, I know he watched Queen's Gambit. I know her from whatchamacallit, Split, movie with all the personalities.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Like she's like the girl.
Yep.
Like that.
Okay, got you.
William Dafoe. You got to know William Dafoe. More recently, he was, or
what the fuck?
Don't do that. Very famously, came back. He was the Green Goblin in the Spider-Man movies. He came back as the Green Goblin again. Norman Zon.
Oh, the old dude.
Yeah. William Dafoe's in this movie as well.
Homeboy's dad.
Homeboy's dad?
Yeah, Pete's.
Yeah, the Green Goblin.
Yeah, the Green Goblin.
Yeah,
okay,
Norman Osborn.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
And the dad of this movie is Ethan Hunt. He's been in on 1,000,001 things, but I think more recently he's been the bad guy on Moon Knight.
Yep.
So it's like he's doing this.
Star-studded cast.
Yes.
No black people in it at all?
No, this takes place during like the Viking times and stuff like that. So ain't no black people in the movie like that.
So is this kind of like the North? I know it's called the Northman, but is it like the Northman from Game of Thrones, or is it like same type of setting?
No. Did you ever watch the show Vikings on Amazon Prime?
No, that's the one with the dude from Sons of Anarchy in it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I never watched it. But
you should. I think that's a Raisin show, by the way.
Really?
Like Vikings is definitely a Raisin ass show.
Okay.
It's like just like that.
Okay.
And it's got like 5 seasons too. Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime's always struggling for stuff to have, but like Vikings is one of those things. I feel like you got it.
I wrote it down.
This movie, I know you've seen the trailer. The easiest way I can describe it is Vikings Lion King. It is like the Northman character played by Eric from True Blood. As a young boy, he's being groomed by his father to take over as the new king. He's pretty much telling him like what's going to happen when he becomes king. None of this is a spoiler because all of this is in the trailer, and it all also takes place. I did see the
dope part where he's like dragging the sword and he's like, "I'll meet you at the gates of hell" or something like that. I was like, that's probably a pretty. He was like, fight right there.
So like, what you call it? Like I said, all of this is in the trailer. All of this is in the first 10 minutes. So like, I feel like none of this is spoilery. As he's being trained by his father from that, he winds up getting sneak attacked and murdered. The murder is his uncle. His uncle is going to kill him and his brother. Yes, and your brother. As they're hunting down the Northmen, he escapes and flees to the sea. That's where he does the, "I will avenge you, father! I will save your mother! I will kill you, father!"
I thought she was about to be like, "If you ever come back, we'll kill you."
But like a situation like that.
I did see that. He's in a row. He's rowing the boat. Yeah.
And then he comes back. "I will avenge you, father."
Yeah.
This dude's insane in this movie.
Row a boat for 20 years. You better be thorough.
What if I'm assuming you're gonna watch this movie at some point?
Oh yeah.
When you watch this movie, like I want you to pay attention to the way this man swims. I'm like, he's choosing the most difficult way to swim. But I feel like if you swim this way, this is how you get built like that. Like he swims like I was like, why does he do that? But he's like flying through the water. I was like, you shouldn't swim like that. That's not proper form.
He's like a merman.
Yeah. But like I said, like he becomes a Viking, stuff like that, and then like his whole thing is his quest is to find and kill his uncle to avenge his father, because his uncle also takes his mother as a wife. So he's like, so I'm going to avenge my father. I'm going to save my mother. I'm going to kill you. That's the movie in a nutshell. I enjoyed it.
It's crazy. Scar didn't sleep with Harabi. That's crazy.
He tried to though.
No.
Scar definitely took Harabi as a wife, and then she just never was messing with him. Don't you remember that?
Yeah, nice try.
I'm being 100% serious. Like, I'm not joking right now. Like, there's certain times where, like, when Nala realizes about Simba and all that stuff, she goes back to Pride Rock, and it's like he says something, like Scar says something to her and does like a thing or something like that, and she's just like, nah, Scar, you'll never be Mufasa type of deal. And then that's when the hyenas start coming around.
Yeah, he
like,
might have shot a shot, but
I'm just saying. But like, that's this movie in a nutshell. I feel like if I tell any more, that starts to get a bit spoilery.
Okay.
I do think one of the things I wanted to say, and my boy Pythagoras saw the movie as well. And he gave me a pre-warning, and I was like, thanks for the pre-warning. But he's like, this movie's not Gladiator, where it's like it isn't going to be this thing where it's like there's a bunch of fights in this movie and it's all action, very little story. Like, this movie is very story driven.
It's not like Dune though.
No, it's not like Dune. There are some quiet scenes. I think this movie leans very heavily into the Norse mythology. So like there's a lot of very spiritual things, and like they had like certain things like when people die, like some people be like, oh, I can see the Valkyrie bringing them, and like you'll see something in the distance that looks like a Valkyrie bringing somebody. Like they lean into that stuff. Like, and then like William Dafoe's character is almost like the shaman of the village. He's Rafiki.
Okay.
And stuff like that. So like when they go to him, like they take these drugs, but like they see all types of crazy stuff in there, and it's like they don't ever make it seem like it's pretend. It's like, no, like this is all part of this mythology and stuff that. But it is thorough. He's super thorough in this movie. Like when he fights in this movie, it's like, oh yeah, like everything feels earned in it. Like I said, like I do think it's a bit of a slower burn. Like I think the movie was like an hour 50 minutes and stuff like that. But like at no point in time was I was like, oh man, like this is boring. Like I was just like, it's quiet, and it's been quiet for like a perfect amount of time. But it's just like, it's because like you need to understand like what's going on in this place, and people need to talk about this, and then you run into Anya Taylor-Joy's character and what's her deal and stuff like that. I really, really liked it.
Okay.
I saw it with my brother. And like as soon as we got to the car, he's like, yo, you gonna talk about this on the pod, right? And I was like, yeah, of course. He was like, what'd you think? And I was like, yeah, I really liked it. He was like, yeah, I liked it too. He was like, what are you gonna rate it? And I was like, damn. I like that. And I was like, if I'm gonna be completely honest, I don't think it was so great that it's a full pricer. I don't think there's anything bad about it to make it a $5 Tuesday. I was like, this is the most matinee movie out there. I don't think they set up like sequels or anything. So I do think that this movie is a one-off.
Okay.
But I was like, if this was a Netflix series with the same characters and everything, this would have been number one on Netflix.
Okay.
Like everybody would have saw this thing. But of course, now it's going up against the Sonic 2. It's going up against the Bad Guys who's killing it and stuff like that. So like I think it ended up 3 or 4 over the weekend in the box office.
Okay.
And then it's like Doctor Strange is getting ready to come out. So it's going to get buried in between all that stuff.
Yeah,
but like I really, really enjoyed it. And I was like, I don't know when it's coming to streaming stuff, but I feel like when it does, a lot of people are going to catch on to it and be like, man, this is dope. And then I'm going to be like, if you like that, you should watch Vikings on Amazon Prime. That's pretty much what I'm going to tell everybody.
Okay.
If this was also like, instead of a movie, was like a 6 to 7 episode Netflix series, I think everybody would talk about how dope it was.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I think it's I think it's straight in that matinee price. It's like, it's right there. It's like, you're almost good enough to be like a really, really dope movie, but it's like, you're just kind of just not that. Like, you're just really good.
Okay. All right. I'm interested. We'll see what's up.
As soon as we're done, I'm going to show you the trailer. You're going to be like, yeah. Oh no, I gotta show you the trailer for
that
one.
Yeah, because I seen this one.
Yeah.
All right,
because you know that scene where he catches that spear and he throws it back.
And threw that joint back. I was like, Sparta?
I was like, that brother, he does a bunch of wild kills in that movie like that. I was like, they took some of these kills straight out of the Assassin's Creed game. I feel like some of these, like I was like, oh my god! I was like, that's a hell of a way to go, bro. Yeah, hell of a way to go.
That's just, did you just ruin the movie?
No, I'm talking about like when they're pillaging villages and stuff like that. Like they're killing. Like so the way some of these people go out is like, oof.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Hey, remember me forever. Remember me. All right. So I'm hoping this is not, I don't know how to feel about it, but it did come across like my timeline. I read a little bit of it. I didn't get through the whole article, but from what I gathered is that the Black Panther character is being removed. Well, has officially been removed, and replace from Avengers. So not the Avengers that's already out,
So not the movies.
not the movies, but like whatever Avengers that is coming after wherever they're at now. So I'm guessing there's supposed to be another Avengers movie.
I mean, of course, there's gonna be another Avengers.
So,
So like we're in phase 5 now.
Yes. How many phases are there?
I mean, if we're in phase 5, there's 5 phases.
Oh, there's no. I mean, like, are there more past the 5 phases? Like, I know you're a comic book guy.
Well, I mean, it's not like that in the comics. But what I'm saying is like the way that the movies are done. Like they're phase 1 is like everything that leads up to Avengers 1. Phase 2 is everything that leads up to Avengers 2, and then so on and so forth.
Got you. Okay, so there's going to be another Avengers, and apparently, like whatever role Black Panther had in that has been removed, and it's going to be replaced by the Batman version, the Batman version in Marvel. I don't know who this character is. I was hoping you would know, and you'd be like, "Oh, I know exactly who this character is."
That's a tough thing to answer because, like, I think that in the comics, there's a lot of different characters that can be considered like the Batman of Marvel. Like one of the easiest ones is like, oh, who's a billionaire that? So like a lot of people have said Black Panther is Marvel's Batman. It's like has a ton of money. He's extremely smart. He's one of the most gifted martial artists. He wears all black. That makes sense. People say Tony Stark, billionaire guy. Who's the?
Go ahead.
You want me to give my last 2? There's like 4 people.
Yeah, there you go.
So like,
see if you get it right. Go ahead.
Tony Stark is the second one. So like, you know, he's like I said, he's got a ton of money, so on and so forth. A lot of people call him the Batman. Third person, I would say street level criminal, fights a bunch of guys, doesn't kill, would be Daredevil. So like, and it's like somebody brought it up one time. They were like, isn't it kind of weird that like Daredevil is called Daredevil? So like, all right, this is the way that they frame it.
Okay.
There's 3 characters that their names should be changed around. Daredevil should be called Batman because he can't see and he uses sonar to see like a bat.
Right.
Ghost Rider should be called Daredevil because he used to be a daredevil and that's how he became a Ghost Rider.
Right.
Batman is like, I can't remember like how they did it, but they're like, he should be called Ghost Rider. I can't remember like his thing, but I was like, wow, that makes way too much sense. But it was like, they would never do that. So like Daredevil would be my number 3. And then number 4, I mean, they're doing him differently. Like in the show is Moon Knight. There's a lot of people talk about like how Moon Knight is like the way that he wears stuff. He's got all the gadgets and stuff like that. Like he is like a Batman-like character.
So I did hear that.
Okay.
But the name that popped up was...
Is it Nighthawk?
It is Nighthawk.
Yeah! I pulled that clutch one, man!
I thought you was going to do it. So I guess Nighthawk is like I said, the Marvel.
They've turned him into that recent. That's a kind of a recent change. He wasn't really like that back in the day. But it's like, do you want a spoiler on like Nighthawk's thing though?
Sure, why not? I mean, I'm already, R.I.P. T'Challa. I didn't know like how this was going. I don't know why like you need to replace him, but I guess that's part of how the comic books work. Yeah. But that's what they're looking to do. I guess it just helps with production for the new Avengers movie.
I'm gonna try and make this as quick as I possibly can.
You want to put you on the clock?
Put me on the clock.
You got 1 minute.
Okay. Nighthawk is the leader of the squad known as the Squadron Supreme. Squadron Supreme has it's almost like another superhero team adjacent to the Avengers. Where they have Hyperion, who's pretty much like Marvel's version of Superman, the Prism, who's like their version of Green Lantern, Speed Demon, who's a version of Flash, so on and so forth. They're heroes that do a bunch of stuff, but you wind up finding out that Hyperion is just like Superman, where he comes from like another planet, another universe, but it's like they're actually bad guys and they're villains, and they're kind of like antitonies to whatchamacallit, to the Justice League. So if they do set him up, I'm assuming they're going to make it seem like he's going to be the leader and he's going to be some dope shit, but then like the Squadron Supreme is going to actually be the bad guys and be the new big bads.
Dang, that was only 40 seconds.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I started like 10 seconds late with the clock, and hey, look at that.
All right.
This brother's.
Just say that was
dog.
That was the fastest way I could do.
Yeah, so that is the rumor. Like again, it's painful to like the realization that like really no more T'Challa. Chadwick is really gone.
But now I'm excited because like Hyperion might be in this. Like I don't think you understand. Like he's super dope in the comics. Like he is Marvel's Superman. Like he has the heat vision, the super strength. He comes from another planet, like all that other type of stuff. But it's just like he's a bad guy. Yeah. So he's okay with being like, yeah, this person got to lose their legs, and it's like, yeah, like he be beating the Hulk up with one hand and Thor with the other hand, like type of deals, So like if we could see something like that, like in the movies, like chopping at the bit. Feel me?
Felt like that was Thanos.
I mean, but yeah, like I've seen them beat Thanos before. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not a problem for them.
Yeah. Okay, well that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
I mean, we'll see what happens, and you know we also have Wakanda Forever that we already talked about, and what that looks like. The shoulder's always coming into play. It's like so, you know, it's just like it still seems like yesterday, Chad. You know what I mean? So it's tough, but we'll see where it goes. Hopefully they have some type of like, I don't know, tribute, homage, something.
Doesn't it
something.
seem like, even though like they only did one Black Panther movie, didn't it seem like he was far more involved than he was?
Yes.
Granted, he was in Infinity War and Endgame, but well, I mean, Endgame, he wasn't really in that.
Was he in the Winter Soldier too?
Yeah, that was Civil War was his first.
Yeah,
one.
there you go.
That's what it's like. Bucky Barnes, like you ever come like sorry that, like
yeah,
just like,
yeah.
It's me, Hawkeye. It's like I do not care. But I'll tell you right now, like I'm already getting goosebumps just getting ready to talk about it, and it's like I know we're getting ready to move on, but like when we talk about Endgame, when we start talking about the scenes, when they do the on your left and he's the first person to come to the portal, I literally cried like in the movies. I was just like, this movie's fun. I was just like I'm telling you, like I slapped my popcorn like at one point in time. I was like, fuck, man. I was like, they did this shit, man. I was like, they did this, man. I haven't used the bathroom this whole movie. I don't care. I was like, I was balling like at that point in time.
Yeah, that's pretty dope.
But I remember like I was like, because I saw it, like, pretty much everybody saw it like that weekend, and then like, you know, like I felt like I held it in. And it's like I was listening to everybody talk about it, and then like somebody finally was like, "Joel, what'd you think of Endgame?" And I was like, "If you would have told me 10 years ago that I was gonna be sitting in a movie theater and I was gonna be watching Spider-Man swinging from Mjolnir through a battlefield with Thanos' soldiers around, holding the Infinity Gauntlet and giving the gauntlet to Black Panther," I would have been like, what are you even talking about? We'll never see that in the theaters before. And I was watching this, I was like, this is incredible. I was like, this is insane to me that this is happening. I was like, you couldn't have drawn this up. Like, this is stuff like I did with my action figures.
Listen,
and they did it in the movie.
Wifey and my youngest had never seen it before. So it was on TV one day, and she was like, what movie is this? I was like, you've never seen Endgame? I was like, oh, we're going to watch it. And it was like, unfortunately, like it was his bedtime. And it was like, it was playing. It started at like 8. I think it was going to like 11.
Oh, yeah. That joint
right.
No breaks.
Mind you, with commercials, it's longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was just like, it got to like 9:30. It's like, home, you got to go to bed. He was like, dang. And I was just like, he was really tight. Like, man. So it was just like, I ended up coming home the next day. And I guess it was on TV again. He got to watch the second half. But it was just like, it was. To see
Disney Plus,
see them experience it, it was like it was pretty dope. It is on Disney Plus too. So.
I know because there are days where I literally just fast forward to the scenes.
I still watch Black Panther, bro.
I mean, like, yeah, I'm talking about like I don't even be like, oh, I want to watch Endgame. Like I'll be like, I got 10 minutes. Let me just go to see when the 3 guys come down and just go talk to Thanos real quick. That's all I need. Just real quick. Just give me through there. Just a little hit.
Right.
Like, something like that.
I remember one time when I was thinking about it, and I just went on YouTube right quick just to watch when Spider-Man died on the other planet. And it's like I
don't feel so good.
I don't feel so good, Mr. Stark. I was like, oh
man, I wasn't well. Yeah. But like when I went to go see Endgame, like I don't cry very often, especially like in front of other people. Especially in front of other people. Like I remember like there's the one time where you're just like, don't look at me. And it was like I couldn't even say it, like I had like no words, like no nothing, like I had nothing. But it was like when you know Thanos knocks out Thor, he knocks out Iron Man, he breaks his shield, he does all this stuff, and like Captain America stands up and he looks over and it's like all the armies over there and he's coming and he just like straps the thing. Like I was like straps and then like but it was just like that's all he does. He just
right.
And I was like, yo, this is
about to keep it moving.
I was like, this is it. This was all I needed. And I was like legit, like I was like and then it was like on your left. I was like came out, I was like, I wish there was a camera just on my face during those scenes because I was just like, this is.
It's like when you think all the food's over, or somebody's like,
I'm wiping tears from my eyes right now. I'm wiping tears from my eyes. I'm wiping tears from my eyes.
Oh man, we're gonna move on from this.
Move on. We're talking about Endgame. We can do a whole 3-hour Endgame.
Hey, so I feel like what I brought to the table was pretty valid.
It was valid. I always appreciate when you bring to the table, but I am the table. No,
we building our own table. You know what I came from?
No.
Eric Thomas, man. E.T. Shout out to E.T., man.
The hell is Eric Thomas?
What? I'll school you afterwards. Hopefully somebody gets in the comments.
I was like, someone in the comments.
Who Eric Thomas is?
I know Carl Thomas.
E.T. Thomas is a motivational speaker.
Oh, the dude is like, when you realize that you need water more, like you need air more than you need to this, like that. It's like, all right. Like,
yes.
Yeah, he's a little. I can't watch too many of his videos because sometimes it's like, yo, dude, you're doing this for like 18 minutes. Like that's a lot. Like I need a break.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't be this inspired.
I know he really like blew up when he had the video where he was talking to like the inner city kids in the auditorium. He's like, yo, when I go everywhere else, they respect me, but when I come here to my own people, y'all acting weird. It was pretty dope, but I watch a lot.
All right, come on, because I know we got to start speeding through stuff because we took a lot of time on that end game, and that's on me. That's on me. I sped through the Squadron Supreme stuff. I'm sorry.
Hardwood checking. Still got the fadeaway.
Yeah. Come on.
All right, so Scottie Barnes gets Rookie of the Year. Valid.
Yes, I wanted it from Mobley. I think Scottie Barnes is. I think all three of them are deserving. Like if they told you that Cade Cunningham won, would you be mad?
No.
So, I mean, it's like all of them. I was like, they're fine. I just liked Evan Mobley more. I thought he was more ready. But like, Scottie Barnes is the only one that's playing for a playoff team.
Yeah. John most improved.
I get it, but at the same time, I was like, that was a Darius Garland award. Yeah.
Yep.
First of all, it should have been Jordan Poole's award, but because he wasn't one of the three finalists.
Yep.
It was Darius Garland's award to lose because it's like I have a weird thing about you were the number 2 pick,
right?
And like you've kind of been this guy for the last 3 years. You went to the playoffs last year. Like, granted, like your numbers took a bit of a jump and your team is a lot better now, but it's like most improved.
Right.
I don't know.
Right. No, I agree with you. We talked about it before, so we'll keep it pushing.
Memphis tied the series with Minnesota.
Hold on, we'll go in order.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We'll go in order. I'll save the ones that are important.
I was gonna say I feel like the top one though is the one we want to save for last.
Milwaukee can't beat Chicago. They're still hanging around.
Yeah, what is going on with that?
I don't know. They can't beat
They
Chicago.
got one game. They're playing tonight too, aren't they?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if they'll close them out.
I don't have any doubt in me. I just feel like Atlanta's just not that good. They just are getting lucky.
No, they're playing Chicago.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about the Miami series.
Yes, they should fold, but we'll see what happens.
I think the Chris Middleton, like even though the next game after Chris Middleton got hurt, they blew him out by like 20-something points.
Right.
But it's just like, yeah, you're gonna get a couple. Like Chicago's not bad.
Right.
Like they're a pretty good team, so like you're gonna get one or two, unlike some people. But
sheesh, we'll get to that in a second too. Miami, Atlanta.
Yeah, like I just don't think Atlanta's that good.
Nah.
And even like Jimmy Butler's out tonight.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's out. I think Tyler Hero is actually starting in his spot.
Okay.
No, Victor Oladipo starting in his spot tonight.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a done deal. Like I think that like
even without Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. I think I think that they got pretty lucky with like how open the defense was and for Trae Young to get like that layup that he got. Like that was like the cleanest look I've seen him get this entire series.
Yeah.
Like it was like the defense broke down and then they just couldn't get a shot off. So it's like it happens like that sometimes. And then it's like you guys are a big 3-point shooting team, and it's like one of these games you're gonna get like they're all gonna hit or they're gonna go in more often than they don't. You live by the 3, you die by the 3.
Facts.
Last time you lived.
Facts.
But like I wouldn't be surprised if they ended it tonight, would you?
Nah, I wouldn't.
Even without Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, I'm on your side. Golden State, Denver.
Yo, they pulled another one out, man.
Golden State better stop acting funny.
Yeah, because like
they better stop
acting
funny.
Life. They finding life.
Right.
Is it 3-2 or 2-2?
No, it's 3-2.
Yeah,
3-2 Warriors.
Yes, Warriors.
But I believe this is a home game for the Nuggets.
This would be game 6. That makes sense.
And you have the mindset of we don't have to win the series. We just have to win this game to force game 7. And a lot of times it puts teams in really good position to do just that. So another team that's in that same position is Toronto and the Sixers. For some reason, the Sixers cannot close out the Raptors.
I think that's an easier answer, though, right? Is like, Joel Embiid pretty famously tore that ligament in his thumb. And it's like ever since he's torn that ligament, they've lost 2 games in a row. But it was like they won the last game without Fred VanVleet. Like he was hurt.
Right.
So it's like I think he comes back for the next game. Like
James Harden better turn into James Harden soon, man.
For real, though. For real.
I'm serious.
And I know this next game is in Toronto.
Yep. And that's why I put those 2 games together, because It's game 6 at home, and all you have to do is focus on winning this game to force game 7, and it's a completely new series, and you never know what could happen in a game 7.
And then, like, now that we think about it, one of those games that the Sixers won, like, Joel Embiid had to hit a 3 at the buzzer to win that, to take it to overtime to win that game.
Yes.
And I told you before the playoffs started, who's the team that everybody should be afraid of? And I was like, these Torontos. And I was like, look at them.
I ain't take down from you. Minnesota and Memphis.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Yeah.
It's getting exciting because Karl Anthony Towns is not like
he's finally playing
basketball, and it looks crazy. Pat Bev is quietly ducking away, but I mean, defensively, like he's fouling a lot, and he's just like he's trying to tell people to calm down, but you're like the mouth, and they're following your lead, and now you want people to chill, and it's like it's kind of weird. I always say it's a lot to back up when you start way here and you don't build up to it. You start here and come down here.
It's hard to lead by talk, but not lead by example.
Right. The young boy Anthony Edwards has proven that he's not letting the moment become bigger than who he is. So I mean,
yeah, man. Like I think at some point in time we're gonna have to do our list of like the best 25 under 25.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't know if you saw Colin Cowherd's list. He was like the best 5 guys under 25, and like out of the 5 guys he put on the list, only 2 of them were under 25. It was like number 1, Giannis, number 2, Joel Embiid. It was like all these guys, and I was like, half of these guys aren't under 25 years old. And like, as somebody wound up calling it out on Twitter and stuff like that, I was like, thank you. And I was like, I know I wasn't the only person. I was like, Giannis is not. I was like, Giannis might be 26.
It's not his birthday at the beginning of the season. It's like, cut it out.
I was like, Joel Embiid's 28. Like he hasn't been 25 in a long time. Like I think Luka was one. Whatever. Yeah. That's our point. But like we're gonna do those. I think Anthony Edwards has moved up quite a bit on that list.
Yes, and I think John Morant is looking like a young kid out there. Like, and I don't say as far as like the aggression or like his shot selection or stuff like that. He's just doing a lot of stuff in late game situations that is making the game more difficult to manage than what it's supposed to. Like you're coming down and chucking up a 3, you down by 4. There's a lot of time left. Go and get a layup.
Yeah.
Like try to draw a foul. You missing free throws. You're going to the lane doing all this wound up showboat and stuff, and the ball slipping out your hand in the air, and then you getting mad because somebody don't get back on defense. Like that's all young boy mistakes that show growth. And like you haven't been in the league that much longer than Anthony Edwards, and he's showing more poise and outplaying you right now.
So poise. Look at you. Who you becoming?
I don't know. But he's showing the mental fortitude to understand like I am prepared for this. I know how to be a grown man in this situation. I feel like John Morant is playing more like kid-like ball, and he's not closing out when he's supposed to.
It's kind of crazy because, like, when you really, really think about it, like, the Memphis team, like, they're kind of due for these type of games because, like, that team is super young.
Yeah.
Like, who's, like, Valanciunas is probably, like, the oldest person on that team, right? He's, like, 28, 29.
Yep.
But it's, like, Triple J is, like, 24 or something like that. He's pretty young. Desmond Bane's really young.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Brooks is really young. Mm-hmm. Brandon Clark, like almost like their entire team, like is all young guys. It's like that. So like they're due for like these bonehead mistakes. But I think like their coaching has kind of shown is like, nah, like we pretty much hold it together. Like they haven't looked awful.
No.
And stuff like that. It's just like there's just little mistakes here and there.
Right.
They like because they've lost all these games in crunch time.
Yep.
So
yep.
Do you have any doubts still that Memphis is going to come out?
I mean, I picked Memphis. So I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
If John Morant can just get it together and facilitate more than he
think about it like that. The series is 2-2, and we haven't had good John Morant games.
Right.
So like really, like that's all it is. Is like John Morant just plays normal.
Really just been Desmond Bain. So
it really has.
If
like
John Morant just be who John Morant was a month ago, then
and I don't even think he needs to be like the super John Morant.
Right.
Like it was like you just be regular John Morant, like we good.
Right. And that's what he has to figure out. All right. So next we have Dallas and Utah. With the series that started off so boring, but now that Luka is back, it's so exciting.
Real quick, Bill Simmons, I was listening to his podcast, and he was saying quietly, is the Memphis and Minnesota series the second best series of the whole playoffs? I think we all know what the number one was.
The Sweet.
Yeah, like that was the most exciting series in the playoffs. But he's like, was Memphis and Minnesota quietly the second best one?
Nah, because I've been liking the Golden State Denver one.
Okay, all right.
I've been liking the Golden State Denver.
Top 3 though?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, well, go ahead.
And I say that because it's the young boys, so this is the future. So it's good to see them competing in the playoffs.
But it's just also they just haven't been playing bad basketball besides Karl Anthony Towns.
Right.
And then like the Minnesota's shown more bad basketball than Memphis has.
Right.
But I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Like you were getting ready to set up the next one.
No, it's great. This series has become more interesting now that Luka is back.
Absolutely.
It's definitely like it's almost like you're watching a TV show and you're just like, I'm watching this TV show because I'm waiting for this person to show up, and then they finally show up. Like, all right, come on,
all right, let's go.
Let's have TV now. Let's have TV now. And Luka is not disappointed. This man screaming in Gobert's face that he can't guard him. This man's making all types of crazy. He's doing his Luka thing, man, and it's super exciting to watch. And I believe they took a 3-2 lead, or no, it's a 2-2.
3-2.
3-2.
And
Dallas.
Yeah.
Yes, because they won the last game. Yes, so
because like the thing is, like usually
opportunity missed.
Dallas is the underdog team.
Yes,
they're the lower seed.
Yes,
but then they had no Luka.
Yes,
and they were still winning.
No Tim Hardaway,
and they were still winning.
Right.
Usually, when the underdog team is beating the other team, it's exciting because we all root for the underdog story.
Right.
Somehow, some way, this series was still boring as hell, even though the better team was winning. And it was like, you would think we would be more excited too.
I wasn't the only one.
Yeah, so like you would think like not only are we watching this an underdog team beat this other team, but then this other team, like there's so many implications that like if they lose, what happens to Donovan Mitchell? Like what happens to Rudy Gobert? Like do they blow this up? Does one of them get traded? Do you keep the other one? And it was like, it still wasn't exciting. I was like, oh man, like I really did not like watching these games. Even when Rudy Gobert hit the game winner.
Yes.
Like stuff like that.
And
I was
finally
just like,
scored double digits in points.
I was like, man, like Donovan Mitchell, like you made us watch Rudy Gobert win a game.
Right.
Stuff like that. And then he gave it, and I think he gave like a pretty cold quote too. I can't remember what he said.
Yeah, he was like, F what everybody's saying or something.
Yeah, something like that. And I was like, oh, now they're trying to make Rudy Gobert cool. I was like, I really hate this series.
Right.
That boy Luka showed up, boy.
When you make a dunk like that, like I'm expecting like Kobe alley-oop to Shaq in the playoffs. He makes a dunk. I'm pointing. A man made the dunk off the alley. It was like, bang. He was like, it's like, fam, you know, no expression. No, I know there's 11 seconds left, but you don't want to scream, pout on your chest, bump somebody or something.
If I would have made the pass, I'd be screaming.
I made a dunk. The drum was like,
I feel like that's the same way that they play Kareem in winning time.
Like, come on, like Rudy, like, come on, man. You make this so unentertaining, man. But listen, I picked Utah. I'm not sticking with Utah, man. It's over, man. Yo, listen, I had one team that I tried to go super adamant, give them my support, and that was the Nets and them brothers. Man, we'll get to it.
So do you think that Utah being the higher seed can still win this, or are you kind of like, nah, Luka and these boys got this?
Nah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
I kind of think so too.
To close them out.
I think Luka's just that good.
Yes.
And like I feel like Utah hasn't really shown us anything. Like there's nothing.
I feel like Utah missed an opportunity. Once they allowed
Brunson.
Yep, allowed them to win a game without Luka.
They won 2 games without Luka.
2 games without Luka. To buy time for him to get back, you ruined your opportunity.
It reminds me a lot of when Goku was in the chamber while they were fighting Frieza, and he was just like in there forever. Like after the Ginyu fight, like that's really much what Luka was doing. And then now Luka's back.
That was solid.
Thank you.
That was solid.
And he was like, "Yo, what'd you just do to Vegeta?"
Right.
He was like, "You know, I got to put pause on you."
Right.
Like,
Right.
I know you, monkey.
You hit my son, fam. You hit my son. But yeah. Before we get to the sweep, we do also have.
I was gonna say there's one more.
New Orleans and Phoenix, bro.
Quietly, one of the more entertaining ones.
Yes.
Yo, like,
yes.
Why do I love this Pelicans team without Zion on it?
I don't know. Brandon Ingram trying to win me over, fam. That man
is he winning you over?
He's trying to win me. Yo, listen. I was kind of just like,
he's doing all the things you were talking about. Rudy Gobert's not doing everything. With the screaming on him and all that.
Yes,
like he's
bro,
doing
when
all
he
that.
came down the lane and dunked on old boy's neck, I was just like,
I feel like I saw a thing and they were like, Brandon Ingram's still 24 years old. I was like, yo, how old is his brother?
Is he really?
Nah, he's pretty young though. I think he's like 26. But I was like, yo, how old is this man gonna be this age?
Because it feels like he's been in the league for like 8 years.
Yeah, ever. He's played with Kobe.
Yes.
Like you know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
So listen, he's trying to win me over. And I don't know if it's New Orleans is playing really good ball or if it's the Devin Booker effect, but it's becoming the perfect storm and the Suns can mess around and let this one get away. It's currently 2-2 right now.
Mm-hmm.
But they have to go back to New Orleans.
Yep. This next one's in Phoenix. Then it's in New Orleans.
This is a must-win situation.
And it's kind of crazy that we got a
must-win situation. They lose this game, they could lose the series going back to New Orleans.
I don't know what the price of admission is.
Okay.
But whatever it is,
Uh-huh.
how much do I need to buy to get into the Jose Alvarado fan club?
Yeah.
Because give me the platinum membership, bro.
Yo, I don't know where this dude came from.
What's the name?
I was talking to my little Spanish homie, and I was just like, we was talking crazy. I mean, you know, in jest and fun.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, I don't have to listen to you. There are no Puerto Ricans in the NBA. I was like, who was your last dude? Verja? I mean, not
Carlos
Verja.
Boozer.
Barea.
Juan Jose Barea. Oh my goodness.
He was like, then this dude pops up out of nowhere. I'm like,
I used to claim Tony Parker
mind
forever.
you, he is a true Puerto Rican. This
That brother's Puerto Rican
from
as hell.
New York. I think he's like from the Bronx
He
or
is from the
something
Bronx.
like that.
They played in Brooklyn. His whole family bought the front row.
Yes,
stuff.
bro. This man,
He got the braids. Like, oh my god, this
bro. This man is like literally the LA Fitness prototype of like the.
Like when he goes out there,
mind you, that looks like some old New York hiding in the corner. I'm about to steal the ball from you and make you feel type crazy stuff. Like, bro, listen.
I gotta send you some of the TikToks people making about that. He's like,
Yeah.
when you're dribbling the ball, they had that man coming down the backboard like Spider-Man,
Yo,
and he's just on the hunt.
listen,
He is giving Chris Paul hell, boy.
yes. Mind
Hell.
you, after Chris Paul was like, "You ain't catching me with that," I watched film, and then that man
Got
caught
him
me.
with it.
I was like, oh, there's a
Got more film to
dagger.
watch.
When the dagger is a steal off Chris Paul and not the shot, it's like, bro. I was just like, yo.
I don't think people realize how much people don't steal the ball from Chris Paul.
Right.
And it's like the fact that
he forced an 8-second on him too.
Yes, he did.
I was just like,
these are things that Chris Paul does not do. He has not.
Listen, it hurt to my core to watch Monty Williams' face as he subbed the remaining starters out and put the bench in, and he was just standing there with the humble face like, I'm being a good coach. I'm being a good coach. I was just like, oh, Monty.
Meanwhile, he looks over Jose Alvarado's doing the major league. That's like, oh my god.
It starts off with the fresh ponytail by his mid-game. His
crazy
everywhere, headbands on.
He looks like Jim Jones braids.
Fam, like that man looks like he's playing pickup ball for real, fam. I was like, yo.
So I'm not bugging. Like, yo, whatever the price is for that fan club, sign me up for that Jose Alvarado.
I mean, I feel like y'all might be at the next quinceañero together and find out y'all cousins, man. You never know.
I don't even know like what it is. He has to have like a 2K badge like for that too. Like, you know what I mean? It's like,
well, you know his story, right?
Tell me his story.
Like, he's like
I would love to hear his story right now.
I'm pretty sure he's like an undrafted rookie or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Got like a 10-day contract, but he now has a 4-year deal.
They just gave it to him like right before the playoffs.
Yes.
Which I wish he would have waited it out.
Why?
Because that's like right now, do you know his bill is
he
would have been stupid paid.
But you gotta think, you're like 10-day contract turns into a 4-year. I gotta take that.
That's kind of like when you watch the Last Dance and you realize how the Bulls got Scottie Pippen on that whack deal, and it's just like,
pay him.
They gave him like $12 million for 7 years. I was like, ew.
That's why Scottie's so mad.
I'd be mad as
you ain't never give this brother no money.
And I was like, Michael Jordan, don't never invite us over his house. He know that, like, I'd be mad as hell.
He be making me buy my own cigars.
That's why he be flipping them takes, and he'd be like, actually, LeBron's the greatest player I've ever seen. He's like, hey, Scottie been doing a lot of that.
Yeah, let him borrow a couple of dollars or something, man. And then last but not least, man, the Nets got swept, man. Nets got swept. I had to eat my take if they was gonna win the next 2 games. I was hoping KD wasn't gonna be a sucker, and he proved me wrong.
I'm the first person to get a point on the the 2-minute drill sheet.
You are
the first person. I told you we did our talk when I told you that the Raptors are the most thorough team, and I told you how much I didn't believe in them Nets. Was that crazy?
No. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding, man.
They had Peyton Pritchard looking like the professor out there. Like it was like, yo, they just look crazy.
It makes no sense. The joint makes no sense. The 2 funniest things I saw the morning after they left. Yes, Brandon, I ignored your phone call on purpose. I do not want to hear from a Celtics fan right after they swept a team that's not even my team. I don't even care. But they had the I don't know if it was right after KD and them won the gold medal, but it looks like he was just like,
bring on Boston.
Bring on them Boston Celtics got a problem coming this season. It was just like, what problem? Then so there's 2 more. The one where KD hits the final 3 and they freeze, like they close shot at Marcus Smart's face, and he looked at KD like, shoot this one-legged 3 to death. Like,
I can't remember what he said too. He said something like "ew" or something like
dang.
Oh yeah, damn.
Yeah, there you go. Like, he looked at him like, the look was just like, man. There's so many captions that can go with that.
So many.
And then lastly, the funniest one
was the one I sent you.
No,
I said hopeful. Yes, no,
I didn't see that one.
I sent you that one.
I sent you one. I don't know if you've seen it when they took a clip from Juice, and KD is Tupac, and Ben Simmons is Omar Epps, and Kyrie is Raheem, and he's looking out the window after Rodman pulled the gun on him and everything. Yeah. He was like, "We ain't nothing." He was like, "What you talking about?" He was like, "What's your problem, man?" You my problem. Kyrie's like, "I think you over exaggerated." I ain't exaggerating. It's like, yo, this is hilarious. Yo, when he turned around and said, "You my problem," then you know how they be altering their faces. Ben Simmons was like, yo.
It's so good. Like, I'm mad that I'm not good at making those things because I feel like I make a lot of them.
This man was sitting on the sideline with that half Prince, half Willy Wonka outfit on, talking about, I hated watching my team get swept. I hate the fact that you were.
No, that tweet was from last year. People just brought that quote back up.
I did not.
Yes, that's a last year quote.
I was blinded by those velvet cream strawberry sunglasses this man was wearing on the bench, bro. Yo. And for some reason, it looked like his chair was higher than everybody else's. I'm just like,
I'm so glad
here I am, the idiot. It's like, fam, why are you not playing right now, man? Like,
yo, and then the pump fake that he pulled with the I'm gonna play game 4, and then it was like, oh, he got back soreness. He came back. I was like, oh my goodness, does this man have Warriors genes in him at all?
No.
And I was like, yo, Ben Simmons is crazy.
I mean, I'm about to just wait this money out. He's like, I talked to my agent last night. Who's your agent? Allen Houston.
Yo, you keep up with this Allen Houston, bro. Yo, you gotta let that hurt go, bro. You gotta let it go, bro. Why you be letting Allen Houston have you do in your feelings like that?
I was a little kid when he made that layup on the Miami Heat, man. We won that series, and then I never saw Allen Houston play like that again. Okay, I'm sorry. We digress. But yeah, that's what we got for basketball, man.
Can I do a quick question / quick take?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and make it as quick as possible.
Okay.
I want you to think about this because both of these took place at almost the exact same time.
Okay.
Right? Who's in a worse situation right now? Or like whose has gone more poorly than they were supposed to? Let me finish. As they should have been. The Kevin Durant Brooklyn Nets tenure or the Kawhi Leonard LA Clippers tenure?
The Clippers.
You think it's still worse?
Yes.
Why makes you say that? I'm just asking. I don't disagree with you.
The Nets made the playoffs. Even though they got swept, it still gave.
The Clippers made the play-in?
No, they didn't. They lost.
That's right. They lost to Memphis, right?
Yes. Yes. So it's just like, I mean, KD did come back and play. He did help the team compete, and they did ultimately make the playoffs. It gave the fans something to look hopeful for. They did look solid going into the playoffs, and it just didn't go their way. There was never a hope for the Clippers. There was, even when CP3 came, Paul George came back, and they won that game, and it was like, all right, back to the good old Clippers. It's like,
the thing is, like, I don't think people realize that, like, that Paul George trade, all of that stuff has not taken effect yet until this year.
Right.
So, like, you gave up SGA.
Yep.
So they have no more SGA.
Nope.
You also gave up 5 first-round draft picks.
Right.
5 first-round draft picks that go to the Thunder.
Right. To see Kawhi Leonard walking around in the gym like he barefoot, like he Bigfoot being searched for in the forest. Like, don't look at me in the gym working out. Like,
so now you got the Brooklyn Nets. You got KD on the long term. Mm-hmm. Ben Simmons is on the long term. Mm-hmm. Kyrie's on the last year of his deal.
He's gonna stay.
You think Kyrie's gonna stay?
I think he's a loyal dude, man. I feel like he wants to really play ball with KD, and he wants to make this work.
I'm so glad you brought this up because this is my question. This was the real question. This is the whole reason I really brought all of this up.
Okay.
They're gonna have to give Kyrie the max amount of money, right? Like, he's got to get the max.
Right.
If he didn't go back to Brooklyn, what team would give Kyrie the max money?
The Knicks.
It's really the Knicks, isn't it?
Yeah.
But so the Knicks front office has apparently been a lot smarter than it has been. Mm-hmm. Do you think like they would sit down and be like, why would we give Kyrie the maximum amount of money to be on this team?
I would hope so, because there's no reason to give him free money.
I was pondering, like I was literally looking at a whole bunch of stuff.
I said that last time. I was like, I do not want the last 3 years of Kyrie.
Yeah. And
it just makes me upset because it's just like all these people talking about all these iconic games they have in Madison Square Garden. It's just like you could have several of those iconic games if you just put the freaking jersey on. But you just rather come here, have these games, and then leave and go somewhere else and lose. And now you want to come to New York? Like, man, get out of here with that nonsense, bro.
I feel like strictly for the fact that he came and wanted to be a Knick and became a Knick, Carmelo Anthony's jersey should be in the rafters.
Yes.
And I feel like they treated him like trash his last couple years.
He made the team interesting again. Yeah. Him and Amari should both get a jersey up in the rafters. Because if it's not for them, I mean, the team is like holding on to dear life now.
Yeah.
But they were borderline dead back then. And you know the risk it takes for Amari to come there. And he didn't just come there just to get a contract in a few years. Like, he was balling.
Yeah.
He was balling. Melo was balling. Like, that showed a super amount of character that they didn't even have to display for the Knicks. And like,
that was one of my favorite 2K teams.
Yes.
With it was not Felton.
No, I was always picking Amari. He was like this mid-range
killer
who won't miss no shots.
It was Chauncey Billups.
Yep.
J.R. Smith,
mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony, mm-hmm. Amari, and Tyson Chandler.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Bro, like, he only got 1 year of Amari. I wish Melo had came sooner, because if he had came maybe just 1 year sooner, it would have been a lot. It would have been a lot better. But it is what it is. I was legitimately thinking about that, because I was like, one, would you be surprised if tomorrow there was a story, Kyrie Irving announces his retirement from the NBA? Would you be surprised? No.
I feel like I wouldn't either. So then I was like, I
wouldn't be surprised if it said he retired, unretired, and then retired all in the same day.
So he pulled up Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I legit looked at that and I thought about that, and then I would be like, the Nets have to give him the max to come back, right? Or like they're gonna give him back and they're gonna have these three guys in the max, and I'd be like, you know what's crazy? I don't know who would give Kyrie the max aside from that. Like, obviously there's somebody, mm-hmm. but like for the most part, it's like I think most serious teams wouldn't. Like you could go to Cleveland's not a good example. I don't even think Detroit's a good example. The Pelicans, like would the Pelicans be crazy to be like, we'll give you Zion for Kyrie and some stuff?
Yes,
I think so too. Even though I think yes. Zion's just gone in general.
But
like, yeah, I was like, it's kind of crazy.
Fab wrote a song about that, man, bro. He's coming to the Knicks.
It's crazy, just the predicament that these Nets are in. Mm-hmm. Like, and it's like all because like they wanted to listen to Kevin Durant, thinking that he was LeBron James. That's really all it came down to. Was like, hey, like, because everybody makes the GM jokes. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, well, like LeBron James does this, and like he's getting ready to trade all these people and stuff like that. Not everybody can do what LeBron James does. There's a reason why LeBron James does what it is, because like every other person that tries to do it, it fumbles like crazy. Mm-hmm. Kawhi Leonard, get me Paul George, get me this, and it's like they've done nothing. Kevin Durant, put me here and do this, and like it ends up being nothing.
Right. The one time that it did work out was because somebody called you over, not because you said Brittany there.
I'm sorry I took up too much time. We can move on to the next one.
No, that's fine.
Where we at with it?
Homecookin.
I'm coming home again. Do you think about me now and then? Do you think about me now and then? 'Cause I'm coming home again. It's time for some home cooking. Living nasty and no Raisin.
All right, so I won't spend too much time on this, because I want to do more research on it, because I don't know if this is a good thing for hometown or if it's a bad thing or not. Mm-hmm. I don't know who this company is, but I'll get right to it. But Bondi Island, the famous, whatever you want to call it, Bondi Island,
I would say,
which is where all our public waste goes. And on the worst of hot summer days, we know that people are working hard there because we can smell it across the city. But it's been bought out.
Okay.
So I didn't know that Bondi Island was like in debt to a number of different creditors. So it has been sold to the highest bidder, I guess, and they're planning on shutting down the big compressor or whatever it is that the incinerator, whatever it is that they burn the trash in. They're going to be shutting that down. I don't know if it's like a environmental decision or what they're planning to do with the property that they are coming into fortune with.
Okay.
But whatever they do with it has to impact the city that we live in.
100%.
And I don't know exactly where they're going with that. So I want to do more research on it. I'm also concerned about the number of people who may have worked at Bondi Island,
Of course.
and are they now unemployed? Are they getting a buyout? Like, what does it look like for their careers? And I'm pretty sure that's a city job. Like, they just say, here, take your pension and go. So just like, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of backstory to this, and I'm interested on what it is. And as I get more, I will share more.
Okay.
All right.
I'll be waiting for more.
There you go.
I never got to take a trip to Bondi Island.
I'm pretty sure I was suspended from school the day that my class went. And I was not mad. I was not mad. I don't want to put on your little life jackets and your suit and gloves and the hairnet over my head to walk in here and be like, it's like I feel like it's gonna be that one auntie that was like telling you about chitlins. Like, it don't stink if you pour the mint brain out. like
I just remember, like, I used to ride to Camp Weber, and it was like every time we drive, like, like every morning. Like, yes, we get it. It's 6:30, smelling like book on the highway. I
like,
get it.
Them brothers working hard today. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's maybe like one of those situations, like when you in it every day, you don't smell it.
You know how you have the one
when you
kid
come home.
Yeah. You know, you have the one kid on the bus that always gets in trouble for saying some dumb, like, someone be like, it's stinky. It was like, it's for that Taco Bell I had last night. They were like, sit down, Jamal. Like Jamal was,
ew, it's nasty. It just smells like your mama.
right. Like the back of your mama's wig.
Yeah. All right, we digress. Yeah, but yeah, so as I get more information, I'll make sure to keep filling it in, because like I said, it affects, depending on who it's got another joke.
Because I want to tell you the one that I really got in trouble for.
Yes.
Where it was just like, I waited, and it was like, as soon as the smell came, it's like, damn, Sean, close your legs. Like,
wow.
I was like 9, bro. Like, I was wild. I was a wild 9-year-old, bro.
Suspended?
Nah, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I got in mad trouble and stuff like that. And, like, obviously, like, let me shut up.
Borderline.
Backfist. You know how kids hit, and especially like, girls are wild aggressive. And you know how girls hit mad crazy. Yeah. That's why I'm going to break your glasses off. I'm like, that's okay. Because everybody in this camp done broke you off, you dusty. Like, you know, I was a wild 9-year-old, like I said.
I really hope this is not this person's real name.
No, that's not her name. I know who she is, though, and she knows who she is, too.
On to the Blitz.
Man, get out my way. Watch out as I come through. Busting in your line, cracking numbers in, too. When I bring that lane, that's what you go do. Go harder than hard, rougher than rough.
I see.
I can't wait, bro. Like, I'm mad excited for this concert.
All right, so
if he's talking to crowd, I just go, clean out your locker. I'm out to get you. Would he know? I don't know.
That would be an epic moment. Make sure somebody records it. The
thing is, I'm not one of those concert goers, though. Like, I'm not those people that watch the concert like this, like through the
That's
phone.
why I said have somebody else record it.
And I know Dave's old ass ain't doing that either. So, like, I feel like Dave's a 50-year-old man trapped in a 34-year-old body.
I feel like he's been like that for 20 years.
Okay. I'm glad I'm not the only person that's done that. Like, he's always talking about his hip and stuff.
Called him Gary Bertier. Gary Bertier was like in the 70s,
bro. Oh, you can't tell. That's my brother.
What was that, Ray? Sorry, we digress. All right, so
I don't want you to get started on any
because I will quote the whole movie from beginning to end.
No, we can't have you on them quotes.
Superman. Oh man, all right, my bad.
I was about to call that Any Given Sunday is definitely Remember the Titans too.
It's definitely Remember the Titans. You said Any Given Sunday?
I was getting ready to. Damn you, Sean.
Your glasses. All right, so two. I will call them rumors for now. I don't know how factual they are and if it's actually going to happen. But again, the Debo Samuel sweepstakes continues to grow, and there's a possibility that the Jets will be willing to part with their 10th overall pick to get Debo Samuels. I think it would be a dumb idea because it's not going to improve your team, and you never know what you can get with that 10th pick. But
especially if Debo's saying he doesn't want to be a running back wide receiver combo anymore.
Exactly.
And that's tough. Like, granted, I've seen like Zach Wilson wasn't the best quarterback last year.
Mm-hmm.
He has like some pretty good options. I really like Elijah Moore on that team, the rookie wide receiver last year.
Mm-hmm.
And like he's got a cannon,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like if you're bringing Debo to be the deep threat option like that, I don't think that that's the best use of his talents.
It's not.
So like I'm curious, but it's like this draft is kind of butt if we're being honest. Like
some wide receivers in there.
That's what like the wide receivers are easily the strongest thing in this draft.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not a lot of good quarterbacks. I think D end is pretty good in this draft, but it's like everywhere else, there's not that many great running backs in here. There's not that many great D tackles. Corners are kind of scarce. So it's like if there was ever a year to give up one of your top picks to get a sure thing like a Debo Samuel, it's like this just might be it. Because it's like you said, it's like the Jets have the 10th pick and they have another pick, don't they? They have like the number 2 pick.
Really?
They have a really high pick. I could honestly figure that out. If you want to give your take, I could tell you what the picks are in order, even though like
I already said I don't think it's the best idea. Especially considering like just because you trade for the player doesn't mean they're going to be happy in that situation because they want to go some. Debo clearly wants to go somewhere where he can compete and not have to do all this work, and that's not what's going to happen with the Jets. So he's going to end up not being happy and end up either requesting a trade or just not renewing his contract with you guys, even if you try to tag him. So I think it's a wasted pick where you can just draft somebody who's going to play under a rookie contract and possibly be attached to the team and rebuild your organization. So we'll see.
I'm not gonna lie, man. You did that a lot faster than I thought you were gonna do that. So like I wasn't able to pull up nothing. But if you want to move on to the next thing, I can tell you as much.
There's another rumor that the Raiders may potentially try to shop Darren Waller to the Packers.
You know what would be crazy? It'd be a lot easier for like the Packers to make that type of trade if like they had like a star wide receiver or somebody like that they could trade for Darren Waller. You know what I mean? Like if they just had like a guy where it's like, yeah, you're giving us like your top tight end, so like we'll give you like a top wide receiver,
right?
Instead of just like not having that top wide receiver because he's like already on the team that you want to trade with. It's kind of crazy how that works, isn't it?
So it breaks my heart, which is hilarious. It breaks my heart, but I also see the positive outcome in it. So it breaks my heart because I like Darren Waller,
of course,
and I hope that we could re-sign him. But given the way his stock has risen, he's probably going to want to get paid a lot, and 2, probably want to go to a team where he can compete more. This season is going to be very important on whether or not we can keep Darren Waller. But if you could trade him to the Packers and potentially like get our own first-round pick and maybe a second-round pick from the Packers, meaning that the trade would be you gave us Devontae Adams, second-round pick, and maybe a third round for Darren Waller, then people would still not be upset with that. So, and then you never know what you can get with that first-round pick. But it's going to cost the Packers some draft.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because they have nothing else to trade. But
you're not going to give us Robert Tonyan.
No.
Like, we're not taking that.
So,
what if
to be honest with you, if I'm the Raiders, I'm telling you, I want our first-round pick back and your first-round pick.
This ain't draft day. That's not really how these things work.
No,
but I
get it.
I get it, though, at the same time.
If not, I need a first, a second, and a third.
If they were like, you could have your pick of either A.J. Dillon or Aaron Jones with Robert Tonyan, and we'll give you your first-round pick back. Does that do anything for you?
No.
Okay.
We have 2 running backs.
Okay. I was just
that I believe in. So I don't need your running backs. So I need those picks, man. And if you don't want to give them picks, stop calling my phone. But I'm hoping.
And it's like we've been talking about the mass exodus of the Packers like this whole time. Right. Like I kind of feel like, and I'm not trying to make this pun, but it's like it kind of works itself out. It's like I kind of feel like they should pack it in, where it's like I don't think we're going to be able to give Aaron Rodgers all these weapons that he needs. Like everybody that we got, we're kind of homegrown. Everybody's going to leave for the most part. So like let's just be as bad as we can so we can get better draft picks to then get the better stuff next year.
Right. Because they signed Aaron Rodgers to how many years?
4 years.
So only 3 of them are going to matter because this first year about to burn up in smoke.
Yes.
So
and I feel like you go to him, be like, listen, man, take one of these hits, sell it a little bit, and like this will be the Jordan Love year.
Ooh.
And like, you know what I mean? And it's like,
ooh.
You don't really want to be here anyways, so we could be like, yo, you're recovering. You could be in Cancun, like
kicking it.
Because he broke up with his fiance too, right?
I don't know. This man's got several different things going on.
Like, yo,
fake COVID cars.
Like, listen, man. Like, we'll send you to an island, give you a bus of Scandinavian models, and then like you figure it out for the year. Like, don't worry about it.
We'll see.
Get your joint discount double checked if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? I did get the draft order. I'm actually glad that you held that down for that whole time in order for me to get it because I was struggling finding this draft order.
I got you, man. I bring substance.
How far do you want me to go
for
the giving the draft order? 10 picks, 15 picks?
10 is fine.
All right. So I'm going to go from 1 down. Jaguars.
Makes sense.
Lions.
Yep.
Texans.
Okay.
Jets.
Okay.
Panthers.
Oh, so they got the 4th overall. Okay. Mm-hmm. Panthers.
Giants.
Okay.
Falcons.
Okay.
Seahawks.
Okay.
Jets.
Okay.
That's it.
The 9th pick.
The Seahawks.
Oh, and then Jets at 10. Oh, so they got 2 first. So honestly, They could give up that 10th.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah.
I didn't know they had the 4th and the 10th.
I knew that they had one of the first couple picks.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they had the 10th. And then, like, when you brought it up earlier that they wanted to trade the 10th, I was like, didn't they have the 10th too?
That actually wouldn't be bad. And then you could still get some with that.
I know they were looking at, I can't remember what the kid's name is, but like one of the top DNs. So it's like, yeah, get the DN kid who's probably going to be like one of the new DM sensations for the next 4 or 5 years.
Right. Sure.
Get Debo to let Zach Wilson prove, like, if he's the quarterback that you think he's going to be. Elijah Moore, something like that. Michael Carter is a pretty solid running back. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
starting to look a little more real.
He might be better than the Patriots this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on this Debo situation because this, this was the take that I brought to the table. So I want to see this one all the way through.
That's 2 good takes that you brought up today, isn't it?
Yeah.
On a roll today, man.
Hey.
And I know it's your heavyweight lovers day too. So like, we're gonna see what that next one is. Did we have anything else left in the blitz?
Nope, that's it.
All right, what we got next?
Heavyweight lovers.
Oh damn, already? Every time I give you the wrong song, I was like, I bet you wonder what. And I'm saying, what you won't do for love. You tried everything, but you don't give up.
My boy be going after it, man.
I know that's your favorite
I'm gonna
part.
get that on the shirt. I don't even know how to spell it. Right.
That's up to G-Head.
Like, you tried everything.
Don't worry, I'm gonna set you up, Playboy. Okay, I got you. I ain't gonna let you have to fumble for words or nothing like that.
My bad. I know the folks is mad at me for my take last week. I don't care. It's the only argument I need, Sean. I'm just kidding.
Next week, I'm gonna let you guys know right now. Like the Sunday heavyweight lovers is gonna be the revisiting what I was trying to do and trying to like revamp.
Wait, so we never really got to what you was trying to do.
What was ever my point? We never got to what my point was. We spent 45 minutes not talking about what my original point was, just talking about this one stupid ass scenario that I was right about the whole time. Because you wanted to play advocate. You didn't get that advocate. I'm gonna play advocate. Somebody brought it up and they were like, yo, he really thought he got you like at one point in time. Because he was just like, you said something. He was like, oh, it's like a probationary period. He's like, like a probationary period. I was like, so you get fired. You're like, not like a probationary period. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, that brother was drowning. I was looking for a life raft. He knew what it was. They went upstairs to talk to Lulu. Lulu was looking at him like he was crazy.
Yo, listen, man.
Listen, all right, listen. That's not how I'm trying to set you up, though. I know you had a good laugh on it. Stuff like that. So we at the heavyweight lover section. We know we go back and forth on it. So like that last week was my week. Raisin's gonna bring us in. He's gonna let us know something. How do we remain in these long-lasting, loving, long-term relationships?
It's the only argument I need. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
What you got for us this week on the table? What's on the docket?
So title is Who You Hanging With.
Okay.
And this is a conversation that me and Lulu have had like dozens of times. I remember like really, really early in our relationship. Like I'm talking about like pre-marriage, pre-proposal, like still courting. Like
it's crazy to me how many times we've used the word courting like in the past couple weeks.
Facts.
Because I was like, I've probably never said it before like in my life. But it's like somehow we just keep bringing that up.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. But
why does it look like I don't have a mustache? Am I tripping? Do I not have a mustache?
It's because you keep doing that. Stop it.
Okay. I feel like I'm at this angle and I'm looking. I'm like, yo, did my barber cut off my mustache? I was like,
it's just tough because that beard's not connected. So it's just like, I don't know. You do look like I don't know. Gotta get one of them little hair pincher things and fill it in.
Did you say fill it in?
Yeah, go ahead, fill it in. Go ahead, get your Beijing on. They would never know.
They'll never know.
All right, wait. All right, so
how would they know?
You know, one of my favorite songs is John B.
Don't listen to
what people say
because they don't know about you
and me, right? Yeah. So and it's kind of weird and like this is not really layered because I wanted to get your perspective as well. We kick like questions and answers off of each other, you know what I mean? But it's just like once you become the married couple,
it's a rough thing to be sometimes.
It's a rough thing to be sometimes because now you are the married couple in the clique. You know what I mean? It's just like
it's like being the one of the friend clique, like you're the first one with a kid.
Right.
People don't know how to be around you.
Right. So it's just like now you have the single friends that you still love hanging with, or maybe they're dating or in between dating, or maybe they had a bad break. Whatever it is, you are still the married couple.
Yeah.
And there's going to be like tough topics that come up and situations about relationship. And it's just like, how do I receive information from the person who's not where I'm at? If that makes sense.
So you're saying that like if you're the married couple and you have like a relationship issue, like why would I talk to my single friend about my relationship stuff? Because it's like you haven't been here.
Factual.
I don't know.
Which is really tough because I had somebody ask me the question one time. So it was like, so if you ever went to like marriage counseling or therapy with your spouse about your marriage, would you feel comfortable taking advice from a person who has not been married or is not married or maybe have been divorced? And my answer was no, I don't think I would be comfortable with that, because you're trying to tell me how to perfect something that you know little about or was not successful at.
Okay.
And it's like, it goes several different ways. I've had this conversation with several different people, and people have made some really valid points on how they do feel that they would feel comfortable with that. I'm not going to say what that ratio of single to married people is, because I don't want like that to sway how people feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also, in other words, was thinking about like, I used the coming to America situation, right?
Okay.
Like, would you ever take financial advice from a bum? Like, no, they're a bum, but it's like, you never know the situation of that person. So like in Coming to America, we know who the bums are, right? They're like Mortimer and the other guy from Trading Places, who were literally millionaires, billionaires, and they made a wrong decision and ended up being bums. And when they got that money, they probably turned that money back into another fortune because they knew how to, but you wouldn't take advice from these bums because they're bums, but you actually don't know how much financial expertise they do have. Yeah. So like coming from, I don't know why I can't equate that financial situation to like a marriage situation, but it just doesn't work for me. You know what I'm saying? So just like there's.
So you feel like you're above it.
Above what? Well, I don't want to say I'm high and mighty.
What I'm saying is like
no.
What I'm saying is like, yeah, like what you call it? Like it's almost like you're trying to shoot up advice to me. It's like, how you gonna tell me this when it's like you got 3 baby daddies?
No, I feel like you're saying don't punch down on me.
I'm not saying that.
All right,
because it's like it's okay to be like when you feel like you're above certain things, but it's like you said, like with like every group of friends has a bunch of people in there. Like they got you got the single friend, you got the one that can't get a date to save their life, you got the hopeless romantic. One of the most fun couples is the dysfunctional couple, but like at the same time they're super annoying. Like you never want them to be over your house, you always want to be over their house because you always want to be able to leave. But it's like when they come over your house, it's like I can't wait till they leave, right? Because they argue a little bit too much over here, and then one of them has to stay because they cried and I gotta give somebody a ride. It's like you know what I mean, something like that. And then like the married couple too. Sometimes it's just like, oh my god, like the married couple, like they think that they know everything because they're the married one. Right. Like, I don't know shit. Right. Because like you don't know that I seen him cheating at the gym the other day, but it's okay.
Wow, wow, that is terrible. We know it wasn't me.
It's like, yeah, like my husband would never do that. Like I've seen your husband take a sniff out of a stripper's booty hole before. Don't tell me what he wouldn't do. Don't tell me what he wouldn't do.
You pushing my cup to the side. Yeah. All right. So yeah. So just like basically like that was the whole premise for me. It's just like, who are you hanging with? Like who should you or who do you feel comfortable taking advice with when you do need someone to talk to? Like, are you just having those conversations with married people, or like, are you looking down on people who are single and like you can't really figure this out? The thing that we figured out, like, you know, every marriage is imperfect. There are going to be people who are fronting. I feel like what me and my wife have is super special, but we don't use that as an opportunity to look down on other people's relationships. Mm-hmm. But like, we have gotten to a point to where we're very exclusive about like who we're talking to. Okay. I mean, I would say we narrow it to just other married couples, you know, and even in situations like that, we're like, okay, well, what's their relationship like and what do they have going on? Because a lot of times we're real adamant about saying like, we don't want that stuff attaching to our relationship and for someone else's problems to be.
Because I've been the super single guy the entire time that we've known each other, but you've asked me for a relationship with us. Are you telling me that sometime you brought that to Lulu and like you guys were just like from Joel? That's all crazy.
I don't think I've asked for a relationship advice.
Okay. All right.
I think I might have shared scenarios with you. Maybe I vented before. Okay. And I've led the availability for you to be like, I don't think I took it more as advice.
Though. I also don't. That's not the way I give advice anyways.
I know.
So like,
yeah.
I'm just saying.
That's why I was like, advice? It's like more like
I usually try to like.
It's like Joel's corner or like my point of view or something like that. But
no, like usually what I do is like I always ask them right about the questions that lead to them getting to the thing themselves.
You do that strategically, like you come to Joel with something, just so y'all don't know, and I know a lot of you do know. Like, hey, Joel, had a question about something. Here's the scenario. Let me ask you a question. That's literally the next line. Let me ask you a question.
Oh, no, my first thing is like, so what you're saying is,
oh yeah, that too.
But what if this happened?
Right.
Like, what if this happened? Because it kind of sounds like this,
right?
I guess.
Right.
And then they'd be like, no, because I'm like, but what's different? And they're like,
right. So any ladies on Hinge or Bumble, I'm telling you, my guy's ready. My guy's ready. My guy's ready. All right.
I've seen it all. I've done it all.
I'm gonna I'll give you. He needs 3 references. All right, I'm one of those. All right, you'll be doing yourself a disservice. No, I'm just kidding. But
oh man, I was about to start swearing like crazy. Like, not because of you being a reference, but I was like, instead of like the Carfax, and I was gonna call it something different, and I had a lot of things.
Oh my goodness! This brother's tripping tonight, man.
I'm glad that like I don't even have to say it, and the joke is still a good joke.
Oh my goodness! Yes, because I know exactly where this is going. So, I guess just to wrap it up,
Wrap it up. I feel like you haven't really started it.
You're right. I know, but it's just like, so, all right. So for me, I won't say wrap it up, but I'll say for me, like I said, I think it's very important that people understand what they're taking in and who they're taking it in from. And there's a lot to consider when you're doing that. You understand? Because there can be some people who can give you some genuine, heartfelt, like, hey, you guys are an inspiration to me, or I see the way you guys are, or I would always want that for me and whoever I'm with. So there's certain people that you can trust based on like their maturity, their past relationships, the friendship that you've had with them. But then those couple of friends that like aren't making good decisions for themselves, let alone like could be that one toxic person. Like, girl, you've been good without him. I don't even know why you've been around this long. And be like, yo, homie, your girl got you, man. Let's go hit the bar or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like you have to know who you're taking it in from when they're trying to be this expert. Because sometimes people just be talking just to be talking. You know what I mean? And then a lot of the times, unintentionally, people sometimes want what you have.
Oh yeah,
and are okay when you lose it, and now you guys are on the same plateau of like
they're almost like they're in competition with you.
Yeah,
and they want you to be on the same plane.
Right. And I don't think that people do that spitefully. Some people do, the toxic people, but like I'm hoping that you're weeding those type of people out of your life by now. But there are some other people who do it very unintentionally, just because of the scars and situations that they've been in their life and not knowing how to navigate those situations. And now because of that, they're in their vulnerable state, they're looking for healing. And sometimes they try to get that healing through other people's pain and sharing tough situations, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So like I said, for me, like I like when it's time to have those tough conversations, I am reaching out to people who have been married. And it's not like newlywed stuff. It's like you've
been through this before.
You've been through this before.
Yeah. So a couple things, because like some of the worst types of people are, one of my least favorites I call them assholes. And it's like people that ask for advice, and then you give them the advice, and then they never do anything with it. Like those are the worst. And then the other people are the people who don't heed their own advice.
Okay.
But they'll be like, oh, this is what you need to do, and you need to do this, and you need to do this, and you watch them be in the same situation. They don't do that, and then you'd be like, well, why didn't you do that? And they're like, but it's just like, so like, why would I take anything that you say?
Right.
Like, you got to take it with a grain of salt. And like you've already said, like, you kind of point out that like you have to be careful who you're getting advice from, because like sometimes it's just not good advice. Sometimes people just like to talk, or whatever. And it's like, I think also when you bring problems to people, what I always try to be doing, like I have certain friends that are always like, you never share anything. And it's like, no, I don't share anything with you. And it's like, it's not because I don't share anything with you because like I don't want you to know my business or anything like that. It's just like, one, you're not going to tell me anything that like I already know. But like more importantly is like, you don't actually listen to what I'm saying. You're hearing what I'm saying because like you want the tea, so that way you could kind of tell somebody that like, that I was going through this thing, or like whatever, or like if something does become of it, you could be like, well, I already knew that because like he already told me. Because it's like you'll say the thing and they'll ask for the advice, and then they'll just be like, and then they won't say anything, and you're just like, you got nothing for me. You're like, or like you're barely listening. It's like that. Like you're literally just hearing me. So like those are usually the worst. But it's like I think the people who do truly listen are the ones that like repeat the stuff back to you, like ask you like because sometimes people will say things and then they be like, "Ooh," but like what does that mean? Or there's a piece there that you're not telling me, and then like you really go through it and be like, "Yo, listen, like I'm the king of the like." It seems to me like there's like 2 or 3 ways you could go with this, and it's like you could either do this, you could do this, you could do this. It's all your choice. I'm just saying.
And sometimes I hate when you do that because like you're super political. Like whatever decision you made is really not mine. I just gave you some options to make your own choice.
But it sounds like these are the 3 ways you can go with it.
Right.
But just know that they all come with their own separate pros and their own separate cons. Like you guys have to see what works for you. What are you willing to take as a con versus like what's the gain of the pro and stuff like that. And then like a lot of the stuff that we talk about, and it's like it's gonna be one of my topics at some point in time, is compromise too. Is like you got to bring these options, like what benefits you and like what benefits your partner as well, and like what's the best marriage of those, off of those however many decisions that gets us to where we want to be or where we need to be. Right. And I ain't never been married. You ain't even known me to be in a long-term relationship. I'd be like, I'll be coming with some fire, yo. What you talking about?
Okay.
Yeah. but like, I know you're talking about like, would you take financial advice like from a bum or something like that? And it's just like, I take advice from everywhere. I feel like there is so many different perspectives and so many things, and like we've all been through so many journeys that like, there's so many angles that you haven't seen it from. Like everything is about perception, where it's just like you think it's this thing, but sometimes have you ever just been too close to something and it's like you can't figure it out, and then someone just like walks by and it's like, oh, isn't that this? And you'd be like, oh, because you had the fresh eyes, and it's like you saw this thing that I wasn't seeing. It's like, what is it? You don't see the forest through the trees or something like that? Is it whatever it is?
The forest for the trees, yes.
For the trees,
I would say yes.
And like so, like to me, like I would listen to a bum because it's like, yeah, like. I'm not listening to everything that you say, but it's like I take everything with a grain of salt because it's like my thing is like I always want to know the why behind things. It's like, are you saying these things? And it's like, oh, why would you think that would be a good idea to do that? It's like, oh yeah, because like you got some daddy issues, and like that makes sense of like why you would feel that way or like why you feel that, but it also might give me perspective on why this other person that I'm talking to thinks that way. And it's just like, you know, because like that's a lot of the way I base my decisions too, is like I always put myself in other person's. Like, why are they being this way about this thing? Like, is this thing really that important? Right. Or stuff like that. And it's just like, well, maybe it is that important to them because like it kind of makes sense. Like, you know, like the way things fall. Timing is always a really big thing too. Is like when things happen is huge. Because like that's another thing too, is like you say, like some people didn't get married. Some people just didn't meet the right person at the right time. Some people like, you know, sometimes they're not the thing that was wrong with their relationship. Sometimes it's the other thing. That single friend that you're talking about, it's like, and granted, we're not talking about a specific person, but it's like, oh, like you go from this person to this person to this person. And like, you could be like, oh, like this person's a skeezer, like this person's this, but it's like, no, like this person sometimes has boundaries and standards and they're not willing to compromise. And it's like, they're like, I see you start compromising my stuff, I'm out. And it's like, sometimes that's an admirable trait. And like, sometimes it's like, well, that's also difficult, but it's like, sometimes you need a little bit of difficulty to, you know what I'm saying, find the right person or weed the right people out. Because some people are wolves in sheep's clothing. So.
Dropping gems. So. Blink, blink. Yeah, so.
I think everybody's got a little value to add somewhere.
Definitely. I just, like you said, I think the way you filter it is super important, and what you are taking. And
I've had people give me financial advice to be like, yeah, man, that's dope. You think I can borrow 10? Like I've had people do that. It's just like, oh man, I just want to know how they not get like you, my boy.
Yo, that's so hilarious because I've been in that situation.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
right? Like,
listen, man, what you got to do is you got to put this stuff first. Really hey, which way you going, by the way? You think you drop me off at the bus terminal?
Like, fam, if you was really talking like this, you could have had this conversation while I gave you a ride. So you're stealing more time from my life.
Thank you.
But yeah, so it's super important how you filter that stuff. You want to make sure that if you are going to take advice from someone, that you know genuinely where it's coming from and the person that it's coming from, because once you introduce that stuff into your relationship, it has become your ownership, regardless of what person said it or where you got it from or how you thought it was going to work out. Once you take that and add it to your relationship, it's your ownership. And now if it makes something worse, you have to deal with that. If it makes something better, then okay, I'm glad it worked out, but don't don't try to look to everyone else to figure out your relationship. All right, because then there could be more problems underneath than what you actually know. So you want to begin to use that communication and make sure that you guys are figuring it out. Like if somebody's giving you like wise counsel or you have somebody that you've already been checking in, I get that. But like as far as like wanting to get better at something, which is the relationship and the life that you're spending with somebody, which is going to be for the rest of your life, you want to make sure that you are navigating and learning how to live with each other on your own. All right. Because at some point you're going to get some bad advice, and that bad advice could be the detriment of everything that you built.
What does it take as a sometimes it takes one eager beaver to ruin a dam?
Wow, where did that come from?
You want to know who that came from?
What?
Drizzy Drake, Aubrey Graham. I can't remember like what
that
song.
Joint sounded country, man. Sounds like don't worry about the mule going blind, just load the wagon.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sure somebody watched that episode because right after I brought that up, Joel was like, I've never heard that before in my life. Guess what happened?
On the NCAA tournament too, right?
The NCAA tournament, somebody had hit an epic three to win a game, and the announcer goes, that's what you got to do. You don't worry about the mule going blind. You just load the wagon. And I had to call Joel.
I think Young King was with you too, and he was like, yo,
yes,
ain't no way.
Yes, that's what it was, the Young King episode. And I was like, I ain't never heard that before in my life. And then I told you, people be listening. Would you listen? No, you don't got to hide. Just like and subscribe and tell us you love us, man. That's all you got to do. All right? All right. Well, all right. I hope that was
I gotta say, you whatchamacallit, you had a different topic that you wanted to go with. You decided not to.
Yes.
And you kind of pulled this one on the fly.
Yes.
I thought it was pretty solid for being on the fly, man.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
5 minutes before we started viewing, I had to change it up. I ain't gonna say why I had to change it up.
But you whatchamacallit, you were like, hey, I think I'm gonna run with this. And I was like, you sure you want to run through it real quick? And you were like, nah, I think I got it. You had it.
Appreciate that, man.
No problem.
I'll be more favorable when we double back on Sunday for your time.
No, I want you to be honest. I want you to be yourself. I just want you to let me get to my point.
Of course I am. I will let you get to your point. I'm gonna throw you some more alley-oops. I got you.
For sure.
All right, so we'll get right to this cultural gem. All right, look, you got a mouthful of waters.
Oh, shine bright like a diamond. I was like, I don't understand.
So I decided to go documentary this time.
I'm sorry, what word is that?
Documentary? Is that wrong?
Documentary?
What did I say?
He's about to jump. You're like documentary. I was like a documentary. Documentary.
Library.
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 Want to try it again? Documentary.
Documentary.
There you go. Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
All right. It didn't feel right though.
I gotta stop drinking this water.
All right. So as a kid, this movie came out, and I think it was like one of those first like real life interaction, like not like it's a movie, but it's not a movie. Like you're going through somebody's actual life.
Okay.
And it was my first time, like as a kid, being able to see something like this, and it was super intriguing and very life impacting for me. So I was just like, I don't know why I didn't bring this up sooner, but it was just like I stumbled upon it today, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna bring it up. And that movie is none other than Hoop Dreams.
Okay, I did not think that's where you were going.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So
damn. Okay.
Yeah, came out in 1994. And for those of you that don't know, it's basically like a documentary of two like 5-star athletes who play basketball, and they're just basically following them through their life of playing high school ball, trying to get to college ball with the aspirations of making it to the NBA. And that's when I got to see a real life view of just like how hard it is to actually become a professional athlete and the things that you come in and to
I don't think people realize how hard it is to be a D1 athlete.
Facts.
Then it like even to get to the NBA, like to get to D1,
right,
and to be a starter on D1,
right,
is hard as hell.
It's life. It's
yeah.
life. So it's like it's two different sides of the coin. Like you have the kid who's like is successful and does things do go well to a point, and then you have the other kid who's just like struggling with like injury. I think he ends up becoming a father.
I was about to say, I'm pretty sure he has a kid.
Yep. So it's just a lot of different things going on to where like the idea of hooping professionally actually becomes just that, which is a dream. And so the ironic name of the movie called Hoop Dreams It's like it's a very impactful movie. If you ever get a chance, well, you should check this out.
I think it'll resonate with a lot of people.
It will resonate with a lot of people, especially the young ones out there. For if we don't have any youth watching it now, but you have some youth that you know would need to watch this movie, I would say watch it first so that you have some context to share with them as you're watching the movie with them. But it's definitely something that they should look into. When I looked at the cast, though, was really crazy because I was like, there's no way they're going to know anybody from these casts because they're not like movie stars.
Yeah.
Guess who was in the cast?
I have no idea.
Patrick Beverly. So I'm going back to watch this movie again to find out. Yes.
Like we're talking about I'm
going to cast right now. Okay. So Arthur Aggie is one of the kids. William Gates is the other one.
Okay.
All right. Spike Lee. Isaiah Thomas.
Yep.
Bob Knight. Dick Vitale. Jawan Howard, Jalen Rose, R.I.P. John Thompson, Chris Webber, Rick Pitino, I believe, also passed away.
No,
he had the scandal and retired.
Yeah.
Yes.
By the way, this is all like basketball royalty. By the way, these are big basketball names.
Facts. Curtis Gates and nope. I don't know what happened, but this is not the same cast that I had. Maybe that other one was fake. Maybe that other one was fake.
He was having a fever dream.
They had all these same people and Patrick Beverly's picture there, and he had them. Somebody try and play me. All right. Disregard.
All right. Never happened.
Yes, but it's definitely worth a watch. So this is several places. I don't
really.
Know. Yes, I don't know.
Of all the movies that you had on there, this is the one that I was just like, this is going to be a movie special.
It's on 10 different streaming.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if any of these sound familiar to you. So we have Crackle.
Yep, I know Crackle.
We have Hulu. We have YouTube, HBO Max. Sling TV. Fubo.
Okay.
Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Showtime. Philo.
Yep.
Okay.
That's a subscription that I have. That it's on a credit card that I can't figure out how to get it off, but I've had Philo for like 2 years. I've never watched a single thing on
That's crazy.
Yeah, like that's like a Best Buy thing too. It was like buy this thing and get like 3 months of Philo, and then it was like I can never get rid of it. It's like herpes, man. Is it on literally everything except for Netflix?
Everything except for Netflix.
That's crazy.
It's even got Showtime Anytime. I don't know what that is. It's like a mobile app or something.
I'm assuming that's Showtime's app.
Probably. But yeah, it's a great movie. Yeah, it's on HBO Max too. That's crazy. Yeah, so I said HBO Max though, but yeah, it's like I said, it's a great movie. I think it's a really good, eye-opening documentary. I don't think it should be used to discourage kids, but it can be used to let them know, like, hey, you are grinding for this aspiration. Just letting you know these are potential roadblocks, and this is just how much harder you got to. Like, this has to be, like, it takes a lot of work.
You can't half-ass this.
You cannot just slip and fall into being a professional athlete or a D1 athlete. It has to be something that you're committed to. And it's not just in your craft, it's academically, it's the friends that you hang around, the way you structure your day and your workouts and your life. It's just, it's a lot. And if you're not built mentally for something like this, it could, It's even, I think it's like, I was going to get ready to say like, it was probably harder back then, but I was like, no, I feel like now it's even harder. Cause like, think about how many Hoops mixtapes or Ball is Life mixtapes that we've seen. We're like, yo, this dude is nasty. He's going to do this, and this. And then like 2 years later, like we have no idea whatever happened to that kid. Right.
And stuff like that. Like people just get lost like that. And it's like people take bad advice from certain people. People make wrong decisions because it's like
people take advantage of these young kids.
People take advantage of them. The AAU circuit is one of the most corrupt things like out there.
I call it the money grab circuit. And
it's just like, yo, like if you don't know how to navigate these things properly, it's like, yo, like so many of these kids get chewed up and spit out.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I was about to say hoop dreams. I was gonna say street hoops. It's killing me. Come on, man. Jesus Shuttlesworth.
He got game.
Is like the movie version of kind of like hoop dreams, and it's like that's the best possible way it could go.
Yes.
Even with all the pitfalls and stuff like that. But like hoop dreams is like yeah, like He Got Game is nice, and it's got Denzel Washington, and it's got all this stuff, other stuff in it, but it's like. Hoop dreams is probably a lot closer to reality to most people than you think it is.
It is reality.
I mean, yeah. It's not
reality. So, and like I said, for me, it was just like to be a young kid and watching this. It was just like, yo, this is what they really going through. Like, it was crazy. Yeah. That's what I got.
All right.
Nasty Nugget.
I do. I have
what?
I've missed one nasty nugget.
I'm just messing with you.
I missed one. So today is a very important day to me personally. I know this person does not celebrate it, but this is today is the birthday of my man Nicholas B. Jennings.
Okay.
My man gave you the
he
name.
doesn't celebrate.
He's Jehovah's Witness. They don't celebrate birthdays.
Oh, got you.
So you know, like it's hard sometimes because like I get super excited about birthdays. Like birthdays are kind of like my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then for you to like not be doing it, like I gotta be like, I was thinking about you today.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Right,
Because you can't do like the whole thing.
Yeah, I remember I was young. I think I was in like maybe like in grade school or something. My homie was just like, he was Muslim, so I was just like, he had sneezed. I was like, God bless you. He was like, I don't do that. I was like, my bad. Like, because on tight. He's like, that's the same thing in another language.
He's like, oh, you stupid. He's like, I realize now why we're in the same class. I've been trying to figure out.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. This is the reason why we stay in the same class and the teachers rotate. I've been thinking of that. Why all of our pencils have dull ends?
Miss, I'm trying to cut this paper. You got some scissors? Just rip it.
Just rip it, baby.
Fold it really fine.
All our papers are in the shape of a circle anyway.
Chill out.
Spanish prayers were pretty crazy back in the day. Right? They were crazy.
Listen, man. Listen.
But yes, I wanted to give a shout out to my boy Nick Jennings. I think he comes into the chat. He's usually Chef Chelios.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's giving you the name, the fried dumpling. He's always been super supportive.
Didn't give me the name. You did.
Actually, I take that back. He didn't give you the name either. His wife did.
She didn't give me the name. She made a mistake, and you knighted me the fried dumpling, bro.
It came from her. What you call about? And I'm also, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure tomorrow is the anniversary of his wedding.
That's what's up.
And stuff like that.
Congrats.
So I remember, like, I made the joke. I was like, wait, like your wedding was like tomorrow? I was like, did you do that on purpose? Because you have a shitty memory, and you always wanted to never forget your anniversary. So the day after your birthday, and he was like, he looked at me and went. And it's like, you know, because of that, like I kind of just wanted to point out, like sometimes, like we live states away.
Mm-hmm.
I see him maybe once a year, like on a good year, stuff like that. Like we talk very infrequently, but it's like at the end of the day, like you're still one of like my best friends, and it's like the value of a relationship shouldn't change by the time that you spend together. It's the quality of the time, not the quantity. To the point where Nick has played a very vital role in I know it's like it's very early on, but like my eventual wedding, like when it does come, it's like he plays. It has something to do for you too, because like he has his job is he has to make a decision. Does he want to be my best man, or does he want to be the person that marries me?
Wow.
Because if he doesn't, if he decides that he wants to be my best man, guess who's gonna marry me?
Luda?
You, nigga, what you mean? Yeah, I brought this up to you to do the beat up.
I don't have those credentials.
Yeah, nigga, I ain't getting married this year. Like you got time.
You telling me I got time?
You got time. We just talked about this.
Get certified?
Yeah.
All right, I got you.
And then whatchamacallit, like I have the there's someone who's waiting that like if he chooses that like gets to be the best man, and like she's super excited to potentially be the best man too. So like there's like he plays a very vital role in this.
That's
like
pretty
that.
dope.
And it's just like, yeah, like because like you know, people talk about all the time. It's like I don't even really talk to them anymore. And it's like I told you, like me and Dave are going to this concert. Me and Dave talk like 3 times a year, but it's like that's still my man, 50 grand. Like just because like we don't see each other and stuff like that. It was like there's way too many things. There's way too many important stuff that like we've been through. There's things that like I do, and it's like I only remember these things because it's like we did these things together, and like that's what made this stuff dope. And stuff like that. Like you share different things.
Respect it, man. Respect it.
Also,
go
ahead.
Me meeting Nick when we used to work together led to me meeting you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy.
Very key person in a lot of stuff.
So wait, no, he led to me meeting DJ, and me meeting DJ led me.
I met you before that too, though. But like we played at like Blunt Park because you guys used to work. Like, we played like early in the morning and stuff like that. And I met you.
Oh yeah, so cut it out. Yeah, Nick led me. Yeah, Nick.
Me to cut it out.
No, my bad. I mean, like cut out that part that I put in there. Like, yes.
We're the one take boys. There ain't no edits.
Right. I'm talking about what I said. Reverse that.
I got
like,
put your game down, flip it in reverse.
Right there you go. I love
Because
it.
his girlfriend never find yet.
But yes, the early morning Plum Park games.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, it was a very key role, stuff like that. So I wanted to give him a shout out. Wanted to tell him that I love him. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure. I hope he watches this because I'm not going to tell him that I said this. So like, I'm gonna find out if he watched it by how he responds to this. Also,
I'm gonna go to an old episode of one of his comments because I know that he'll get it and be like, "Hey, shout out for you on the new episode."
I guess we'll see. And then obviously this episode, the next episode that we do is going to take place on Saturday, so it's going to already pass. But this Friday is our boy, my little brother DJ's fight over at AIC.
Oh, that's right.
Friday. Is this Friday night at AIC,
right. I just
7
see his
p.m.
poster up at a couple places.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's like, you know, I wanted to give him a special shout out for that as well. And obviously I want to wish him good luck. And then like, we'll talk about on the pod, like what eventually becomes of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, got to give a shout out to Broski, our first guest on the show.
Facto.
You know what I'm saying? So
Facto.
shout out Bad Boy Wit. If you haven't bought your tickets, you can hit him up at Get With It on IG to see if he still has some available. I believe general admission is $40. So I mean, if you got it, why not support the fam? That's all I'm saying. And then last but not least, and I was trying to figure out how to put it in there, and I don't really have anything like around it, but it was like, you know, this past weekend was also my mother's birthday, who, you know, passed about 11 years ago, stuff like that. So I just wanted to give a shout out to moms, you know, say that I love you and miss you, and kind of just keep it going from there. But it's like I said, it's kind of surreal sometimes because it's like I almost forgot about it, honestly, like because it is just like it's been so long that it is kind of like a day. But then, like, you know, like I went to go pay respects and stuff like that and had a conversation out there, and it was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was like, nah, like it was super dope. Yeah. So I just wanted to wish happy birthday. That's all I had. I know I kind of left it on a weird note.
Nah, man, that was dope, man. Because I was just thinking around the time, like, I think that's where our relationship, like, you know what I mean? Like, I started coming around more, and it was just like, I mean, there's a lot came from that, you know? So
it was like a year after I started working at studying and stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of people, whatchamacallit, like, it's crazy the amount of, I mean, this is like
sure it was the same year my house caught on fire.
It was the same year. And this could be like a whole topic on itself, like about like grieving and then like how certain things work and like all this other stuff. But it's amazing the people that you think would come through for you and the people that are supposed to do stuff for you, and the people that are really supposed to be there that don't show up.
Talk about it.
But then it's like the people who do show up and like stuff like that, you're just like, wow, like I didn't even think it was like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was a lot of people, like I was like, you know, because it's hard like in the moment to tell people like how much things mean and like how much you appreciate them and stuff like that. But like some of that stuff like was super dope. Like there was a lot of people that showed love, showed support, and did certain things where I was like, I didn't even think that like we were anywhere near like at this point. Like I didn't even invite you to this thing, and like, you know, people showed up or whatever. And then other people who like, you know, used to change your diapers and like used to do all this other stuff. It's like the real funny money, like and stuff like that. It's just like it's crazy. It's crazy like how things work. Yeah. But it's also like another thing that like and like I said, this would be like a whole grieving episode type of deal where it's just like when stuff like that happens, like grieving doesn't just happen to you. Right. And it happens to everyone else. And it's like everyone processes it in a different way and it looks different to a lot of other people too. So it's like, I know like we tend to get really selfish in those situations. But like sometimes like when you really, really take a step back and you look at it, like you could you see a lot of the trueness in people, like when stuff like that through tragedy. I'm just thinking.
That's dope. Yeah. Yeah, I remember when my house caught on fire. I was just like, man, I was super stressed. And then the whole Sharp One crew, I would have to run through a lot of people right now.
A lot of that look like the end credits of the MCU movie. It's a lot.
I remember it was like Thanksgiving time, and everybody came on with like this large sum of money. He was like, yo, hey, go home, go be with your family. I was just like, man, this is crazy. it was crazy. So yeah.
And you a big softie too, so I know you shed a couple tears. Like people say I'm soft, but I've seen more of your tears than you see the mine. So
hey, you gotta let them endorphins out sometime, man.
Dolphins? What'd you say?
The more you clear away for things that get put in, you know what I mean?
The more you spend,
the more you say. All right, man.
You know I had to end on a laugh. Come on now. I'm gonna figure out something.
You could have just said dolphins. I was already ready to laugh. Ooh. Hey, but yeah, appreciate y'all. Till next time, we didn't keep y'all for 3 hours. Plus.
How close was it though?
Probably like 2 still.
But
hey, it's all good content. Appreciate y'all. Holla at your boys.